Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Aurora Squadron podcast. My name is William, and I'm joined here with...
Hello, I'm Derek.
Hey, I'm Brant.
And I'm Jeremiah.
Yes, today we have Jeremiah. He's going to be joining us for today. He's one of our regulars, comes almost every week to play X-Wing, and, we just wanted to have some more of the local players here.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
Been pretty busy.
that's
Got
great.
a bunch of new people in.
Yeah, huge
And-
influx.
Yeah, huge influx. So it's nice to see a new crowd, and the crowd just getting bigger and bigger, especially at Bosco's.
It's definitely surprising because we've gone from like 6 people a tournament to 10 or 14. It's
Yeah,
pretty neat.
Well, the last tournament I wasn't able to get there, but I saw it was like 18, 20
yeah
people.
it was like our
18
hyperspace trial.
It was larger than Urza.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest tournament of the year.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really helps that we have 2 new guys, Austin and Silas, who work at the store. We're just recruiting people left and right, and these people are getting interested with the new movies, and obviously The Mandalorian. So
It's only a matter of time until we see a
Rez's
Mandalorian ship.
Crest 2020.
Hopefully by the end of the year.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And just like you said, Brent, I think it's super important when employees of the shop really invest into the game and show their own interest and actually advocate for specific products. I think that's definitely a factor as to how the scene has practically doubled in the past month.
I mean, they even managed to convince the judge for the Pokemon tournaments up here to start playing.
Yeah.
So we got guys coming over from other games.
Sorry,
Right.
Pokemon.
Yeah, just today he was judging and hosting the Pokemon card game tournament, and he was just setting his stuff slowly over at the X-Wing table. It's like, yeah, I'll be over here in a sec.
Oh, it's great.
But I mean, that just shows we got a pretty good growing community up here that, everyone's open to trying out different things. And there's been times where I've dabbled in the Pokemon card game, mostly because my son likes it. But it's just nice to, spread love around. And I think that really helps because I've seen some game stores and some other places where they just get too oh no, it's just us and get away. And that really hinders growth. But it's good to see that we're doing good, being oh yeah, come check this out, and even kids there's a bunch of kids that are starting to play around now, and it's okay, yeah, they're 10, they're just learning. It's always a good time.
Yep. We actually had a kid in today you were playing against, right?
Yeah, apparently he played in first edition, and he's starting to get back into it.
Yeah, I helped him pick out because he was deciding between CIS and Republic, and he was like, I want to get in there and fight. All right, well, not droids, because they like to sit on those rocks. Really.
I mean, they can.
Well, right now, he was playing Corset for them, so it's more Jedi in Torrents.
Well, who doesn't want to be a Jedi? Let's be honest.
Right? I mean, from a thematic standpoint, the Jedi is obviously going to be super popular. You're flying people like Anakin and Obi-Wan.
And Mace Windu, sorry.
Right? It's really hard to
But
go
how have they been doing though? Because for a while there they were tearing it up, but I don't know if they've actually been doing too well in the tournaments.
Yeah,
I'd say they're easily the third strongest
the
faction.
Jedi Aces? Or
Yeah.
Just Jedi.
they're still dominating.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these tournaments and put those
Still
words to the
dominating,
truth, huh? Still dominating. Let's see what the top is.
Sure. I mean, we can go ahead and just start with looking at the system open that just happened in Philadelphia. If we're talking about the meta as a whole, that might be a good place to start.
PAX Unplugged.
Yes, 99 player tournament.
Big names here. You got
Someone didn't show up.
Yeah, you got
I know, right?
You got Duncan Howard, Marcel. I think even Paul Heaver showed up, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's the one who won the Worlds tournament, right?
The Worlds? No, Worlds was
Who is
Ollie.
that? Ollie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
here-
Paul is your attack dice god, and Duncan is your defense dice god.
I'm not super up to date with streamers and top players or anything like that.
Now,
so.
if they could just adopt me and both my roles would be good, then that'd be nice.
That's never going to happen, unfortunately.
But
well,
question is, did Jedi Aces do good?
Well, let's look at, we got a top 16 cut, I believe.
Yes. So I did look at this. Well, I guess we looked at this for like a couple seconds beforehand, and there was definitely a trend with like 3 different factions looking at the top cut.
CIS, Rebellion, and Empire. Well, no, Republic, 4.
Well, Republic was mostly Republic and CIS and Empire, and then a little bit of Rebels.
You got like 1, 2 right there.
A couple of Rebels that were like almost the same, and then I think a First Order squeezed in at the very end.
Yep.
Yeah, there was one First Order.
So let's go ahead and get right into our winner here, Paul Heaver.
Yeah, first place. This is a Chertek Swarm. This is not the first time we've seen Chertek plus a bunch of Trade Federation drones, which is the generic PS1 vultures.
Yeah.
Really like place super high. I think there was one last month that got first place as well in a really major tournament.
Yeah, Chertek in that Nantex, just even at I4, he threatens I6s with ensnare.
That's
because
true.
they have to now outthink the Chertek player.
Yeah, you gotta play around it.
Yep, you have to play around that, and then you can set up that kill box with your vultures because you got 3 of these guys with those Discord missiles to throw out those buzz droids for even more zone control.
Yeah.
Where you're, what is that, 4 grappling shots? So you got 4 of those drones sitting on rocks waiting.
Yeah, it's
For you to either take the buzz droid or go into that kill box.
It's curious that he put the ones with Discord missiles to not have grappling struts. The 3 with Discord missiles don't have grappling struts, and then the rest do.
Probably
I
a
just think
points
that's
thing, I wonder.
Yeah,
It
he
might
probably didn't have enough points to put it on there. Maybe he just wanted to have 1 upgrade per.
Easy
I
cleanup.
don't know.
Easy
Yeah.
cleanup.
Is there a strategy behind putting the grappling struts on the ones that don't already have Discord missiles?
I mean, if you go to time, you definitely don't have a lot of time between games.
Right? It's like
think-
this one, this one, this one.
I do definitely like the Discord missiles. I'm happy to see them being used more.
Yeah.
I think the
And
zone.
more. They've been used in almost like
What's the,
half of the list of CIS. They have at least 1 Discord missile.
But
I'm happy to
more
see
than
3.
1. Yeah, 3 in there.
I've seen. I mean, I feel like I've seen like 1, 2, and 3. Like it's just a good upgrade.
It's
I don't
low-key
know.
my favorite CIS upgrade.
It's probably the most fun.
And nothing wrong with a crit.
Right, but
yeah.
it's a little. I feel like it's in a little bit of a weird spot right now, and maybe that's kind of telling because we're still seeing it. But things like vultures, like Vader, Soontir Fel,
Wow, Soontir Fel.
Soontir Fel. All these ships that have access to barrel roll, which is the counter to Discord missiles, are everywhere. Like, there's just almost every single list in Cut is going to be a ship with a barrel roll.
Well, I mean, that's the point. I mean, you can't die if you don't get hit, and you don't get hit if you barrel roll out.
That is pretty much the meta.
Even Chertek, I mean, with his own tractor, I mean, it's basically a barrel roll. So
Yeah.
I mean, it only makes sense that you would have a list with Chertek in there just because it's like, cool, free barrel roll, basically. As long as you're not stressed.
I do think that Chertek is the most powerful Nantex at the moment. Like, I mean, Sunfac is good. And, like, in a vacuum, like, by himself, ignoring points, he's better because of his pilot score. But Chertek has a more powerful pilot ability because the Nantex doesn't have target lock. And so it has to rely on either chest of focus, or in the case of Chertek, if the opponent is tractored, he can get those rerolls. So that's double mods.
True.
That's a big deal. And he just costs so much less. He's around 50-ish points if it's just him with Ensnare, which is the upgrade that lets him transfer those tractor tokens from himself onto other.
Yeah, puts you at about 49 points for the treacherous. So that's cost efficiency right there.
I know. That's crazy. You can throw Chertek into like almost any list, and
But
it would probably work fine.
I just want to point out, though, that it looks like we have 2 Empire lists right there that almost picture perfectly the same, except for like some minor differences.
Yep.
But you have Soontir, you have Duchess, you have Vader, Fifth Brother. Although surprisingly, Soontir fell with the targeting computer. That's, as much as I love that personally, I feel like that's just crazy talk.
Yeah, Empire are the big representative here.
Yeah,
and
let's
then
see.
if you go
How
up,
many-
there's another one
How
with
many Empire?
Soontir, but then you have Grand Inquisitor and Duchess. So
Soon-
Duchess and Soontir, but then that third ship seems to be kind of up for debate as to who you want.
A Force user of some sort between Grand Inquisitor and Vader.
Invader, yep.
Yeah, people are really just enjoying Force in general right now. You know, you got Fifth Brother crews on a lot of different pilots. You got Maul on Boba. People are really starting to see the power of being able to maneuver themselves with things like boost and barrel roll and still having access to those Force mods.
Yep.
It's almost like being able to link into a focus without actually having to give yourself stress to do it.
Yep. It's absolutely fantastic.
Fang Fighter with a Force win?
Never in my
Never.
life.
Yep. I will stop playing the game.
So that was this system open.
Yeah.
What about
I think
like?
it's, well, before we move on,
Okay.
I do see something that's pretty telling with both this tournament as well as like previous tournaments, and that is like the Empire faction being dominated by like
Aces.
2 pilots. Yeah, it's aces. You got Vader, you got Soontir Fel, and then you got a third ace. A lot of the time it's Duchess, it could be Whisper, like
Grand Inquisitor.
Grand Inquisitor. That new pilot coming out in the Aces pack. Is that one for the Empire? The one that has 2 Force on it?
Fifth
And
Brother.
No, Fifth Brother for the
I want to say it's Fifth Brother.
for the V1. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
yeah,
So there's gonna
I feel
be
like they're
another
gonna put
potential.
him. He's PS5, right?
Yeah, I believe he's 5.
PS5, 2 Force points, able to.
Spend both his Force to add a crit results.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's gonna be powerful.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty interesting way though to balance it. Is you have to spend 2 Force points to add the.
And it looks like he will be actually Initiative 4.
Oh, Initiative 4. There
So
he is.
that's going to. I still think though that's good. That's really good.
Absolutely, and I saw people talking about it on forums.
'Cause I-
stapling homing missiles onto him. Either you roll 4 attack dice, or you let it hit and you spend those 2 Force and you get a hit and a crit.
Yep.
Oh wow! I
Yeah.
didn't think about that.
Yep.
That's-
That was the first thing I saw in the fence too. Was
Yep. A lot of people are pointing
two,
that out,
2
and
damage
that's
or roll against 4.
it's like oh well. And if you're a Fang fighter, I think you might take the 4 there, depending on how close or far you are.
That's yeah. If I was at range 3, I'd definitely take the 4.
Yeah, I
If
don't.
it's range 2, I don't know.
It's
If
a
it's
missile.
range 1
It's
Fen
a
Rao, you
missile.
take the ring.
No
It's
range
a
modifier.
missile.
It's a
No range
missile,
modifier.
so you
Don't
need to
get
be
the
obstructed.
bonus.
I don't know. I think if I was a Fang Fighter, I think I'd just take it anyway because I'm rolling 3 dice regardless of 4 or more.
It's really a hard choice to make because the average damage you take from a 4 dice attack is either 2 or 3.
Somewhere in
And
there.
It's important to note that it's going to be double modded.
Correct.
He's got a target
'Cause
lock
he's got
and he's got
Force.
2 Force.
Yep.
So you're probably better off always taking the hit and crit and just eating it.
That's
Could you imagine like rolling for it and then you still get hit by a crit? Like, oh, that'd be so depressing.
Yeah, I feel like he, along with Vader and Soontir Fel, are, if you can fit it, I'm not 100% sure.
I think you'll be able to fit it. 'Cause
I
if you can fit Duchess with Fifth Brother Proxima and Shield upgrade, you're going to be able to fit Fifth Brother, I
Yeah,
think. Because they're not. It's not. It's not an
because-
expensive chassis by itself. Because
Well-
it's not super impressive as
Well-
a chassis.
But so you just kind of mentioned it though, with Fifth Brother being his own ship, you might see Duchess fall out because you won't have Fifth Brother as a gunner on Duchess now.
Yep.
But you still have Duchess to like drop like a
You're
siphon
still-
charge or like a cluster.
I think.
or not
Raiders-
cluster,
I think
like
you're going to see.
Farsi.
You're going to see countdown a lot more now because of that damage negation.
Pierce the Bach. Yeah.
Or Pierce the Bach, yeah. if you're feeling confident,
Snapshot clears the box.
snapshots the Bach, baby.
Turfiner.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that you were asking about what we were seeing with the Republic and how the Jedi Aces were doing. So let's go ahead and look at the Republics that made cut.
Well,
in
I'm
the
just
system.
saying, like, bless you. If someone
sorry.
comes to me and like, hey, I want a really cool Jedi list, I'm like, all right, cool. Here's some tournaments, but I also don't want them to like see that Jedi Aces aren't doing really terrible because that's a very discouraging thing. Like, oh, I'm going to research, see what's like good in the meta right now, and just like try to copy, kind of like how some Magic players do that with like their decks.
Sure.
And if there's something that you want to do but it's not doing good, I mean that could discourage some players.
Yeah.
Maybe. But Jedi Knights are doing
Yep.
great.
There's Marcel
Just the
Marcel
first one
Manzano.
that we see going down.
The classic,
Yep.
the classic trio: Obi,
What is that?
Rick, Olay, and Anakin Skywalker.
Yep, 8
Yeah.
overall, and I actually want to point out it's a little odd to see on Anakin.
Is that
He has intimidation, collision detector,
what?
and advanced proton torpedoes.
As someone
super
who
weird.
can't
So
fly
I think-
good,
I
I
think-
understand collision.
I actually no, I think that's Anakin
Yes.
in the
it's-
Y-wing. That's Y-wing Anakin.
No, it's not.
Isn't it?
Y-wing. It's Naboo Starfighter Anakin.
So that's Annie.
Yeah, that's Annie.
So it's put in as
Right.
Anakin.
You can barrel roll twice if you don't remember his ability.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Because
yeah.
collision detector. Yeah, okay, that's weird. But I mean, I guess that's still technically a Jedi ace.
I don't know
He's-
if I call him an ace.
He's not a Jedi yet, but he's gonna
He's
get
got
there.
a force point and a free barrel roll. What can you do? You know, again, barrel rolls OP.
Hey, he has to pay a force for that barrel roll.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's I've never actually seen
It's built in
Little
fight control.
Annie. On
Yeah,
the
I think a lot of people up here really like they like Matchstick and Broadside.
They do.
Yeah,
Those are really popular. Rick Ollie's popular.
we're
And
hardy
then-
people. We have hardy ships.
And then Jedis are popular. Not a lot of arcs being flown up here for the Republic.
They were at
Despite-
first.
Yes, at first I think people were really starting to like play around with them. They were like, "Oh yes, these arcs along with these torrents, looking pretty good."
Torrents never look good.
Well, hold on. Maybe not like in like 8 of them on the table. but like for example, 2 Jedi Knights with 2 torrents, that was a really popular list archetype for a long time.
That's true. I think a lot of people are just excited about how cheap Republic arcs were. Or
Yes.
are really, and that just goes so far. Except Sinker, just need to stop making Sinker a thing because I'm tired of Sinker.
Sinker Swarm.
Ugh.
Sinker Swarms. It's still viable, I think.
Well,
Maybe not like
Yeah, Sinker in that arc is.
I am really fond
A little
of
bit
Sinker
of
Matchstick. Sinker Matchstick gives you 2 rerolls of Matchstick every time you attack.
doesn't Matchstick get a reroll for each stress that he has?
Correct.
So if you manage to put more than 1 stress on him, he can just like reroll everything, right?
Yes, in theory, correct.
that's when you hope you get the panic pilot.
Come on, panic.
Hold on. If you bring debris clouds,
Now hear me out. The 5 straight heard around the world. You ever heard of 4K heard around the world?
Oh, that's gross.
That's
but
all.
then you permanently are. No, that's pretty bad.
It's basically like focusing, right?
Well, it's more like having
it's hard
target
lock.
lock every time. But then you can't do any other action ever. Yeah, I forgot I said anything.
So that Annie build for that Naboo Starfighter is 60 points.
That's really weird.
That's
And that's a little.
it's interesting though. I
It's a
like
little odd. Yeah, I saw.
I like it.
We saw Anakin, we saw Obi, we assumed the Jedi Starfighter.
Yes, we did.
But then I saw Intimidation. I was like, "Excuse me."
When would you ever?
Also,
What is
not
this,
super
force?
sure why he has intimidation. That's a really interesting choice.
He's planning on just
Why you
chucking Annie in there like some
I
sort
mean,
of
he's an
sacrificial
I4, so
lamb.
he's gonna because Empire Aces is really popular right now. So you just chuck Annie in there and you block, and then you
that's-
shoot with Rick, who goes fast too, and Anakin or Obi as well, Obi-Wan.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
He's really working the meta here. He's like,
And I do-
PS4, it's gonna go under everything that matters.
I also want to point out, Annie is also, I believe, the only Force pilot with an EPT instead of a Force power.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of an oddity that I think that they were, and it's really great that they figured out a way to work that in, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, Force powers, they're really good."
Well,
They really
here-
are.
here-
You got
here's the
sense
debate,
and
though.
everything.
Anakin in the Naboo Starfighter as a kid.
Yep.
Should he really have an EPT though? Just saying.
Well, should he have a
He-
Force power? How is he gonna have a Force power? He's a kid.
He's got midichlorians.
Midichlorians. That's his EPTs. Midichlorians.
Well, I mean, like they put a lot of effort in the movies to show that he was really good.
Yeah, really gifted.
Piloting.
Because I mean, spinning, it's a good trick. You knew it automatically.
It was so good that they put it in the game.
Thanks, based FFG.
All right. Is there anything else that we wanted to talk about this?
Yeah,
Resistance?
there might be. We don't know what Ryan Fleming flew. It's not in here, unfortunately.
Way to go, Ryan.
No, that's well, who
He
knows?
didn't make cut.
Oh.
Yeah. But go, never mind. All right, go out there. Was a CIS list I saw that was a little one I hadn't seen before.
Okay.
Right here.
This one? Let's see.
So you got Churtek just with the ensnare.
Exactly. See, just what I was saying.
Just
throw them
ensnare.
into any list.
49 points. Boom. It's good. Good 49 points. And then you got Captain Seaearth Kraken instead of the TA 175 and Solus one. And then you got 3 of the Vulture drones at PS1 with
Discord
Discords
missiles.
and
3 Discord
struts.
missiles.
And then DFS 311 with struts.
Oh man, what does that one do?
DFS.
I play CIS and I still don't even know what all these do.
Well, how often are you flying?
At the start of engagement phase, you may transfer one of your calculated tokens to a friendly ship at range 0 to 3.
Right, he's the
So you can-
discount IGA.
Discount IGA for CIS.
Yeah.
So
He pays a lot for that ability too.
I
doesn't
don't
he?
think I've seen
He's,
this list before. It's like it's almost like a pseudo swarm.
Kinda. It's like Seer Swarm, but they changed out like 2 of the Vulture droids for Churtek. Because Churtek is that
And
good.
DFS.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
because sometimes you just need like the
DFS is a
shenanigans
4-point
that
difference
the shenanigans that ensnare gives you.
from the.
Yeah, I mean, just
This
ensnare
one's-
is, and then Kraken. So keeping those calculates for those trade versions, so they can also have a lock for those, or not for Discord, but so they can have a lock as well, or for
Either that, or they can spend a Discord missile while still having a calculate all around them
Yep.
to either use offensively
So
or
I think this
defensively.
is supposed to be about. I think this is very much a action economy list just with Kraken.
Yeah, no,
Chris
it's
Kraken's-
really definitely interesting. Like it's like condensing itself. It's
Yep. Yeah.
cool. All right,
Okay.
is that about it?
Yeah, I think that about wraps up this tournament.
Cool. Let's go ahead and move on to some local stuff.
I gotta say, I do feel bad for Resistance for not making the cut at all.
Yeah.
Like I thought,
Resistance didn't make the cut at all. Who else didn't make the cut at all?
I think
Scum.
every,
No,
Scum,
there
yeah.
wasn't
Scum.
Scum.
Yeah,
That's
no Scum.
surprising
Scum and Resistance.
because
You
Fenn's just
usually
so
see
good.
a two list scum.
You usually see a
going in
Fen
there.
Rao with whatever you can fit.
Yeah.
Boba
Or
Fett's
Boba.
really popular right now.
Yeah.
Boba
it's-
Fen, yeah.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, Boba and Fen.
Oh,
Oh,
they're so
fun!
good.
I remember this tournament.
Oh,
Yeah.
is this
So
the?
This is the Aces High.
Oh
So-
yeah, this was awesome.
Tier 1, we had a bit of a fun tournament to end off our year with a bang. Aces High. So it's you get 1 ship, 75 points. So we
There's some extra rules to that too, right?
Was-
There's like bounty stuff.
Yeah,
like,
you-
you have to
you-
get a certain
you-
score.
When you
Yep,
die,
you
you
go-
respawn with
you
everything
die.
regen.
Yep, you roll a dice. You spawn at a certain point with hyperspace markers that you will get in your core sets. If you,
People hold on to those.
yeah, apparently, if
I think I
you,
have mine somewhere.
yeah, if you're the first one to damage somebody on their life, you get a point. You kill somebody, you get a point, but you also get a 1-point bounty.
So if someone kills you,
They get your bounty, and you lose your points.
Oh.
So there were no ban cards for this one. I don't know if normally there's bans.
I think people usually ban Lone Wolf, right?
We did not. And it didn't. I mean, and it didn't even make that big of a difference. There weren't a lot of lone wolves at the tournament.
I'd say about half the people had Lone Wolf, or at least a third. I mean, because there was what, like 10 people.
Yeah, there were 10 of us on one map, which is 2 above the recommended.
Oh no, no,
10 of you guys?
There was 10 of us playing.
no. We put 2 maps together
Yep.
because we had too many.
Yep, because we had 10
Holy
people.
moly.
Yeah,
What's the recommended?
8.
8 for
Oh,
one map.
that's not so bad.
Yeah,
No, it's
Is that-
8, it's 8 for 2.
8 for 2.
8 for 2.
Oh.
So yeah, it was 10. We were 2 over, but we made it work, and it was fun. It was really fun.
It's definitely fun to load up one ship with just a ton of upgrades and just
Yeah.
fight all the time.
Well, and it's also really nice to like kind of use some of those ships that are very unique, because a lot of times when you're building like a regular list for hyperspace or extended, like you're looking at ships that help each other.
You're looking for effectiveness and synergy.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, I'm not going to have a friendly ship between range 2 and 3 because I'm my only friendly ship. Now,
Yep.
if you're something with range 0, like friendly ships at range 0, heck yeah, you know.
That's all me, baby.
I know you saw a lot of unique pilots out there. I mean, I think there was even
I
a
don't
quad jumper out there.
Yeah, Derek. He was literally only there to ruin everyone else's day.
Hey, he dropped mine.
He killed Luke when he told Luke he would be fine. Dropped a mine on him. said you'll be fine, and proceeded to roll the 2 hits necessary to kill the X-Wing.
I legitimately didn't go to win. I just wanted to go and mess everyone else's time up.
Yeah,
But,
so,
but it was interesting to see because a lot of people really packed or really skirted the points limits because there was a naked decimator.
Correct.
It was
A
what?
naked.
This
it literally just Oikun.
Yeah. Was it 74 points?
It's like, 70, 74, something like that.
How did it do?
Not
It didn't,
terrible.
it didn't die until like the very last round.
Yeah, I killed it.
That's
I killed it. That's why I did not get 0 points.
Yeah, I want to say you flew a Phantom.
I flew Whisper, and that was a mistake. There are too many ships for Whisper to have a good time.
Yeah, there was one thing because we noticed because I forget how we determined. Oh no, we all kind of drew numbers.
Yeah, we
see
drew
who would
numbers,
go first.
and we decided that really wasn't fair
Because
afterwards.
because you had the same person always going first and kind of like so you were last. You were the last.
I was
person
last,
in the
always
order.
last to shoot. So next time, what we decided we would do is that the initiative would transfer at the end of each round.
Okay.
We only had enough time for one match
One
for all of us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that was like 2.5, 3 hours of because you got 10 people all moving a ship and trying to decide what they're going to do.
It was also our first time, so there was some hurdles to get
Yeah,
through
there were a lot
for
of
rules
hurdles,
and stuff.
such as I had a great one that made Luke's brain hurt. If I am flying a dead man's switch and I blow up and I hit somebody for the first damage, do I get the point before or after I die? Because if I get it before, I immediately lose it. But if I get it after, then I keep that point.
Oh, how are you dying?
Dead man switch.
Oh.
You
Oh,
respawn.
each ship you get a point for each ship that you deal damage.
Yeah, and you deal damage to for the first time. So if I kill or you know, when
You
does
get
the-
it first because wait.
How does dead man switch read, Derek? You fly the kamikaze list.
Yeah, does it go off when you're removed from the mat?
I believe it's this when you die.
And when you die is when you're removed from the mat, right?
Yeah.
So you'd get it after. You'd get the
I
point
believe- yeah.
after you're removed from the mat.
So that's just a point for dying. Dying close enough.
There you go.
No, the winner.
Yeah, after you're destroyed.
Yep.
There you go.
So the winner of this was somebody who almost never wins, according to him. When he won, he said, "Wait, no, take it back." Ray. I like what he flies a lot of the time. It's really unique. He did the Ray was the purveyor of the 4 Naboo starfighters with the protons and passive filters.
Yeah. What did he fly for the
For the Aces High,
Yeah.
Nora in the Ark
Oh, see,
Yeah.
Arch is so good.
with Lone Wolf, Magva, Veteran Tail Gunner, and R3.
I thought Magva was an interesting choice.
Magva was a good choice.
I understand it, but at the same time, it's probably not. I probably would pick Saw before I
Made a
would pick
beeline for me.
Magva.
What does Magva do again?
When
Some
you
target
after
locks?
you defend, you can acquire a target lock on the defender,
Yeah.
On the attacker.
on the attacker. Sorry,
on,
On the attacker.
yourself.
and
Target lock
then
yourself.
and he has R3. So you know he had what, you and Oikun shooting at him. So he was like lock shoot because he had that veteran tail gunner.
Oh yeah, 8 people on the board doing their own thing.
10 people.
10 people this time.
10 people. Veteran Turk Honor probably was
paid
a
him-
lot better in
it
this
got him
map.
a lot of points.
Yeah, this
and
format.
and it actually kind of highlighted the issue with us not moving the initiative around, because every single time I went to shoot somebody to take a point, they got shot by somebody else, and so I got denied points because I was last every single time.
Yeah. Initiative is so important in that format where
Yep.
the first shot matters.
Yep.
Also,
And
voting
initiative,
great.
yeah, your pilot score doesn't actually matter, so you can fly whatever the heck you want
Interesting.
and go crazy. Because
Is that how it normally is?
Yeah.
It doesn't go by pilot initiative?
Nope.
No.
Wow.
It follows an order determined by the players.
Huh.
So I want to point out, also, you see an X-wing that you don't see a lot here.
Yeah.
Carcoon.
Heck yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think I've
Jeremiah
ever-
here.
Free Daredevils.
That is a fat Carcoon.
75 points, baby.
That's a 70.
T-75. T-70. T-70.
T70.
Yep, that's the Resistance X-Wing.
Yeah,
So,
whenever
Carcoon,
she boosts, she can do a turn instead of like a bank.
she can
with
go
it.
hard.
And
And does that
she's got built-in Daredevil.
Yeah.
does that stress her?
No.
It doesn't stress her. So the way because I flew her, and the way I had her built was with, I want to say, afterburners, and
Yeah.
I can't remember if I did prime thrusters or not. I want to say I did.
You have prime thrusters, so yeah,
Yes,
you
you
got
do
her
have prime
and heroic,
thrusters.
standard.
Yeah.
R4 integrated foils, and then black one and HLC.
Yeah, I threw in HLC just because I had the points too, and I was
I think
okay.
it actually paid off like twice.
Yeah, I think I did it twice, and I think it really just worked once. But no, it was just, I mean, it highlights the ability. It's like, okay, you got 75 points for one ship, go hog wild, and PS level, like PS skill doesn't matter. I'm like, okay, this is great. So I can go into those lower PS ships that I almost never would bring unless like I was like trying to really squeeze a lot of stuff in there.
Mm.
But like if you wanted to do dash, for example, and 75 points, you can't do that because dash is not 75 points. But that's another thing I like about Aces High is that you have different levels of points, and I hope next time we do something 100 or more so we can get more of the large bases. Because I mean, most of the ships were available, but like some ships just were flat out not available at all.
Defenders.
Well, I mean, hold on. Would it really open up more options by increasing the cap, or would it effectively lower the amount of options because ships that maybe
Lower
don't have a
cost.
lot of slots or
Can't get up
just
to 100.
can't get up to 100, they're just not able to be used at all.
Well, then you shouldn't be flying Z95 to the Aces High tournament.
Hey,
But-
95 getting rise up.
But I mean, it's like if you wanted to do, say, like a better decimator or not awakening,
A
but
TIE Defender.
a TIE Defender. Yeah, TIE Defenders weren't even available. Granted, like I'm not really
That's
worried
probably
about.
for the best.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
or a 2400, even just the generic 2400. Like you couldn't because it was what like 86 points or something.
Yeah, but FFG doesn't want you
86.
flying to 2400.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where it's like if you're going to give us just one ship, I want at least every ship to be available. Even if that means I have to run it naked, cool. Just let me fun.
Yeah, look at Awakening. There he is, naked.
Yeah, and he did respectively well. I mean,
Yeah.
it was fun just seeing like, oh, you don't have anything besides your pilot ability to worry about. Ha 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 ha.
He just kind of got, I think he got really screwed over by dice. A lot of people just kept nattying him out.
Oh,
He
no.
stayed at range 3 a lot, I think, until like there was.
I don't think
scrum
he
in the
chose
middle.
that. Everybody was just faster.
Yeah.
Zipping around.
Zipping around, or in the case of the Ark, decided to fly in a different direction. There's a droid you don't see often on Neon Num there. M9G8.
The hell does that do?
So M9G8 is while a ship that you have locked is attacking, you can, I think it's you spend the lock to make them reroll like up to 2 attack dice. So fun fact.
So wait, he was just denying points?
Well, he used it on again when people were attacking him a lot.
Oh, okay.
He also did use it to deny somebody from getting points on somebody else so that he could then get the points.
Yeah, someone was trying to shoot because
I think they were trying to shoot you, weren't they?
yeah, they're trying to
And
shoot me.
he made them re-roll, and you were safe because of it.
Yeah, I was like, thank you, because it got
And then,
to
but then he shot you and took the points.
because I want to say Ray was shooting me that time too,
With Nora.
and it just basically stalled the game like another turn because by killing me he had enough points then.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things where it's like you can use your abilities to deny other people.
Yeah.
and
You don't
that is
have to
just-
purely think about yourself. You can use it. Okay, I can stop him from getting scored on.
Yeah. Although that kind of stuff isn't quite as common in this format, probably, because most abilities that let you kind of like mess with other people like that are like allies
True.
and
True.
whatnot.
But it was great to see a M9G, a different droid than we're used to. Like I didn't even know that droid existed until this game.
It was
Right.
really popular on Lieutenant Bastion back when Benny and gang were being flown before they gutted our RZ2s. Or specifically Lula.
Oh,
Because the more popular list used to be Vinny, 2 RZ2s, and Bastion.
What's Bastion?
Lieutenant Bastion is a PS2 T-70 pilot that when an opponent takes damage, you may acquire target lock on that attacker, regardless of range.
Oh, well, that's not so bad.
And then you have that droid that's
You can make them re-roll their attack dice if they're shooting at Venny or an A-Wing, and you're like, ooh, I'm not feeling so hot about it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically free target locks, and at 48 points, I mean, that'd also be another good candidate for a 75 point or even 80 point Aces High or something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
okay. So we had one other tournament this month, correct?
Yep, the Boscos, which was a normal, or well,
It was a holiday special.
holiday special. Ugly sweaters as, some prizes, as well as a giant trophy for whoever won our not a league, as Brian likes to call it.
Well, it's not a league.
It's not a league, but it's a league.
Yeah.
First place, Brian in a relationship with Fenrau Lindemood. I'll let you guess who one of his ships was.
Was it Kierzak's?
Nope.
Oh.
Fenrau. Fenrau in that Fang fighter with Predator instead of his usual elusive.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So he knows what you got. He said crack shot. Tarani with that Chemo Gila fighter.
He's like the only guy who flies it. That's great. I love it.
Yep, it's really good.
Yeah, I've messed around with it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, pretty much the exact build here too, like with the cluster missiles, with the astromech that lets you attack your allies as long as the munitions fail safe, so you can attack your allies and then cancel it to proc Tarani's damaging bullseye ability twice in one round, even if you don't have two enemies within range 2.
Can I just point out the awesomeness that is a jump master on this list as well?
You use that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. So you got Tel Truvera in the jump master, and the way he uses Tel is he
just to live.
Yeah,
be annoying.
To die and then come back with her ability.
What's her ability?
When Tel dies, you spend the charge that Tel has, non-reoccurring for those of you who might be wondering, and then you can place Tel at the beginning of the next planning phase.
With 4 damage cards?
5
damage
because it has 6 hull
cards.
And so you run hull upgrade, so you have 2 hull left. So you're only getting half points on Tel all of a sudden, instead of on a jump master instead of it's dead.
But you have to do almost double the damage. It's so ridiculous.
It's great.
It's definitely silly.
I just wish for the jump master's sake that the jump master was better.
Yeah, because the jump master is pretty unique in the fact that its dial isn't
it's less.
It's asymmetrical.
It's asymmetrical, yeah. So it's like
I really like that about it.
So its straights are blue, its left banks are blue, but its right banks are white. Now its left turns are white, but its right turns are red, which sucks.
I think the thing that really hurts it the most is the fact that it doesn't have a right sloop. It only has a left sloop.
Yeah, there's been some times because I've been trying to fly them, 2 of them at a time, and it hasn't been going great. But there's having a left sloop only. I mean, granted, they also do have 4K, which isn't bad, but
it also makes you a bit more predictable. They know which direction you want to
slope. It is very predictable, and especially because like you're not going to be rotating your arc much because they also have you have to link into your rotate, and it's always red. So unless you have something like Agile Gunner to give it like a free rotate or like some sort of shenanigans, you're almost never going to rotate your arc. Everyone knows what you're going to do, and it's very predictable.
Well, to be fair, if you're running a jump master, you're probably going to be having the title on it anyways, and so all of your value with that turret is going to be facing the front because you get that extra damage die.
That's true.
And so it's not like I don't know. And I've seen the argument a lot that if the turret was easier to rotate on the jump master, that it would be a better ship. I mean, I guess, but I also don't think that's what would save it. You know,
Bowtie would save it.
No.
No.
Or give me a cybernetics that has more than one charge because dear God.
Java.
Yeah, it's called Java. Wait, you don't want to run a houndstooth?
What?
Yeah. So, the winning list was Jump Master with Fenrau and King Gila.
Yep.
And
his MOV. Oh my god.
Yeah, really good MOV for only doing 3 rounds.
He's 200 over the next closest.
I know.
Who is this son of a gun right here with
Derek?
A swarm, an Empire swarm with. Is that a Lambda?
Yes,
Yes.
Swarm.
Oh my god! The fact that a Lambda does good is just I feel bad because I know I've lost to this very list multiple times. I'm just it's slightly infuriating.
Yeah. We've got this is a list that he's been running recently to try to take this league. So he wants to he's in the running for it. Got to go for it. If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, there was a lot of stakes here for Derek.
Yep.
For the Not a League, It was essentially like
Down to him and Tim, I believe.
Yeah, it was for the whole year too.
Yep.
The score was kept based on the amount of wins that you had
Games
in
played.
total.
Yep.
And tiebreakers were like games played
Head to head.
and so it really came down to both Tim and Derek
And whoever
were
did better
1 point
in the
away.
tournaments.
Yep.
They were 1 point away.
Tim had one stumble.
For the entire year. And Derek won 3 games and Tim won 2, so he was able to win the yearly points.
I've been flying that Soundstorm for like months now, actually.
Yeah, you're really gearing up for it, which is different. Up here, people usually like to just kind of like
Switch it up.
switch it up, like every week. Just fly whatever they want. Even in a tournament, they just fly whatever they want a lot of the time. But yeah, you were flying this for a long time. It is one generic Lambda with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 PS1?
Yeah.
PS1 TIE Fighters.
Yeah, the good old Academy pilots.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And
they
then
just
on
go
that
and
on
die.
that Lambda, you got obviously Sloan for that stress.
It's
I
2
include-
stress for it whenever they destroy a
Correct.
ship of yours, right?
Yeah, but it's 2 stress whenever you destroy one of my ships, and while I'm firing at one of your stress ships, I reroll 1 dice.
Yep. And then
Ah, has both of those on it?
on
Yep.
Sloan, yep, that's Sloan.
That's
And
good.
then you got the hull upgrade on that Lambda, make it a little
Sure.
bit bulkier.
3 points? Might as
Yep.
well.
And
Especially-
Minister Tua, which is
While you are damaged, you may perform a red reinforce action during the beginning of the engagement phase.
Oh, okay. That's
Which-
not so bad.
It doesn't sound so bad until you realize, like, okay, I have to kill all of these. So it's like you either have to try to punish the Lambda first, but correct me if I'm wrong, but usually you have the Lambda behind all those TIE fighters. So it's
Correct.
like, okay,
and if you're going after the Lambda, well, the Lambda's now the kill box.
yeah.
Yeah,
As I
pretty much.
I've gotten very good at the art of flying the Lambda right behind the ties, and then shoving the Lambda up people's throats as when the ties reposition.
Yeah, but then, like, if you go after the TIE fighters, like,
You're getting
you know,
stressed and they're
it-
re-rolling.
See, that's one thing, like, I always kind of get wrong. Is like, I always like, oh, TIE fighters will be easy, but it's like they have 3 green dice. It's hard to kill anything with 3 green dice, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have 6 of them, so you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's a list where it kind of forces the player I'm playing against to make a choice on who to fight.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. And neither of the choices typically feel very good.
I think it's really funny to note that this list right here looks like a CIS list. you got one sort of tactical relay ship, and then you got a whole bunch of naked generics
Yeah,
that are along with it.
It's thematic.
You
You
got
know, CIS.
You got me on a
became the
CS
Empire.
player in disguise.
I know, right? I do like the concept of having like a big ship with like an entourage of little guys. You know, that's
I like it
something
too.
something you'd see in like a Armada or something. But
Yeah, but
What's an Armada?
But going down the list though, it's like, okay, we see our second Empire list, excuse me, and again it's Soontir, Vader, and then a third Ace. So it's just like,
I had the
but-
unfortunate.
Is Echo an ace though?
heck yeah.
I mean, his flying patterns are indicative of one.
Yeah, because
Not a
with
skill.
with Echo's ability of having to, like, okay, whenever you decloak, having to use a bank instead of a straight, like that throws so many people in for a little
Yeah,
bit. It's, like,
The amount of
he's a
ending
tricky phantom.
locations that you can have just from that is
it's fun.
a lot. It's like asking, like, is Gary really an ace? Yes.
Well, she's I5, he's I4.
Yeah.
But then we also have a Republic list with, okay, now we have the Jedi Starfighter Anakin, not the
Are we sure? Yeah. Okay, Foresight. Yeah. Okay. Well, it could be Y-wing.
oh, and a Sun Fact list. Oh look, oh that's you. Ah, check that out.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you wish it was Church Hack and not Sun Fact?
Yes, absolutely. Like,
and you can probably run more than Dirk Courier and Grievous.
pretty much. So,
Yeah, you probably
I like Sunfac as a ship, but he's just not worth it to run in tournaments
Well, it's
because
'cause
he gets hard countered against specific lists. I went against David. David's list, the one with Darth Vader, Soontir, and Echo. And I am 100% confident that I would have won. But he had outbid me.
Oh.
And so he had 2 PS6s that were moving after Sunfac. Sunfac
that's
was
tough.
dead in the water at the beginning of that match.
Oh no.
Before dice are rolled.
Yeah, before dice were rolled, I was just working an uphill battle the whole way, and I just couldn't do it.
How much was your bid?
It was like 6-8 points or something. Like it was big.
That's a lot.
Because
he
I
still
know
beat you?
Yes.
Jeez.
He was committed to that.
He is committed to that bid.
Mm-hmm. It sucked. So yeah, I would have definitely loved SureTech a little more. I probably would have fit a fourth ship in there.
Yep.
I do really like Count Dooku crew. I ran a generic Sith infiltrator with Count Dooku crew because you can just give everything crits.
Well, what does he do?
It's only 1 in 8 chance to roll crit.
So I believe
'Cause
he's
he's different.
10 points.
Yeah.
And so what he's able to do, he's kind of like first edition Palpatine. But worse. Before you roll your dice, if you have full force, which if you only have him as a crew and nothing else, then you're going to have full force. You can flip the force and state a result. If the roll doesn't have that result, you can change one die to that result. And so, for example, I think this is the best way to use this, is when you're attacking, you state that you are going to guarantee a crit, roll the dice. If you don't have a crit, you can change that blank right there, boom, to a crit.
Or if you rolled a crit, well, hey, you rolled a crit.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's like heroic, you know?
Oh, but it's not just your ship, it's
Any ship.
Any ship in range 0 to 2 you can
So
go
not
for.
even your own ships, but like your opponent's ships
Yep,
too.
you can hit their evades. You can say blank if in case
So if
they're
they're only
natty.
if they're only rolling one green die and you say blank, you could change it to a blank.
Yes.
That's dirty.
But it has to be before they roll, so you have to think. You'd be like, kind of like, hang on, I gotta think. Do I want to?
Although I still think I'd rather guarantee a crit
Yep.
because there's only a 1 in 8 chance of getting a crit, and there's a 3 in 8 chance of getting a blank for them. And so there's a higher percent chance that you'll come out with the, it's just working the numbers.
Yeah.
I get that.
But yeah, you just give that to whoever has the best shot, and they'll just hit 'em.
Yeah, that's great.
That's crazy.
I like it.
Do you think he'll? I know this question is going to kind of segue a little bit into the next topic, but do you think he'll do you think Count Dooku crew is going to go up or down in price?
No one's using it, so I feel like he's probably not going to get touched.
He might
And
go.
the fact that he provides
He's
a
10
force
points.
point, and a really cheap force point at that.
Yeah.
Like a force point by itself is usually priced around 9-ish points.
Yeah,
And so
and a good ability to
think-
go with it.
Exactly. He's got a good ability too. So I don't think he's going to get touched. He might even go up 1 point.
Even at
But
11
the fact
points,
that
that'd
no
still be
one's
great.
seeing it at all, I just don't think it's gonna.
Well, to be fair, how often are you seeing this Sith infiltrator?
Dooku is around.
He's around, but it's Seer Swarm.
You're right. He's not as around as much as something like SureTech, Seer, generic vultures, generic hyenas. But if someone's flying the Sith infiltrator, it's going to be Dooku.
But then you're not running the crew, so you're not going to see the crew.
Exactly.
So-
Like
I mean, unless you just
there's
hurt
two
for
different
points.
ways to look at points adjustments, and I think both are valid. There's the first way, and that's purely from a balance perspective, either nerfing things that are a little too strong, buffing things that are a little too weak, to make sure things are on an even playing field. And then there's the other way, which is to buff things that aren't seen as much, so that there is more variability or variety in the metagame.
More accessibility.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then nerf things that are just too popular.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because they're too strong.
But because the people doesn't like them because of what they do.
Exactly. And so to actually mix things up, you nerf what's popular, you buff what's not.
So what do you think their stance is based on what we've seen for points adjustments so far, from the last 2 point adjustments? What do you think their stance is on that?
Knee jerks.
Knee-jerk reaction.
Oh god.
Well, look at the Tripsilon.
Tripsilon.
Tripsilon. That was a knee-jerk. No,
Yeah, they did that
that took like what, a week or two before they were like, "Hey, we."
Reasonably so.
They do that pretty rarely, though.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything for Sunfag. Well, to
well,
be fair, that was kind of...
Yeah, but-
all the worry was before.
But then they also changed the tractor rule,
Yeah,
the way how tractor works,
Yeah,
and they're doing it. They're going to change it again here on Thursday.
Yeah, I think that was.
I don't know if
that's
it's going to be changed on Thursday.
On Thursday, you don't think?
I
I
just
think
don't
that would be a good
remember.
time to do it.
I think so too.
But that kind of highlights though, like there's other ways to kind of affect ships is just kind of like changing how some interactions work. A little bit, kind of like with how they changed the ability queue also.
Yep.
So like some ships got a little bit better, some ships got a little bit worse without actually affecting points or anything.
Yep.
So it's good to see that they're thinking outside the box instead of just straight points or some slots, kind of like how like the Phantoms lost their crew but got a gunner slot.
Still sad about that.
Yeah.
Fifth Brother is really nice in there.
That's like the only gunner though.
Yeah, that's like all the Empire gets.
Yeah.
Unless you got Vader, and then I guess you can have BT-1.
Or TIE Aggressor.
Or they could give it a device slot.
What? No, it's already weird that the Striker does to me.
It's like
Hey, that new Striker pilot's actually gonna be really cool though.
Yeah. I don't. You know
I
who
think
I'm-
it's going to be gimmicky.
You know,
It
who-
is gonna
The
be
ability
gimmicky,
to put down 2 devices in one round is okay. I think
it's fun.
if they had a reload, I'd be
Dropping
more,
two-
if they had reload, I would be more enthused.
Mm-hmm.
But they cannot reload.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah, you can't just.
So once
hold
you
on. You can give pilots different linked act or like different actions.
you'd have to give them a bomb that gives them a reload.
I don't think any of the bombs give reloads.
Yes. So he can't get a reload.
I mean,
So after you use
like you could print it on the card itself.
You
I
can
don't think
proxy
they'll
it.
do that.
I don't think
but-
they will, but like unless they do give him a reload, I think it's once you use it, all right, now he's just a generic basically.
Yeah, to be fair, what use a PS2?
Just use it too, yeah.
Who?
The new Striker,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think that he's probably only going to be a couple more points than a generic or something.
Maybe throw intimidation on him and have him be a bumper after that.
Mm.
Try to force him into the mines with him.
I feel like small base ships are not great bumpers.
I think a Striker specifically is because of ailerons. Like a Reaper is better, but ailerons also makes it so now you have to account for them boosting before they move.
Yeah, the ailerons going boosting.
That is nice.
But it's going to be interesting though, because you also have to take into account that okay, we got some new pilots for some ships, but how is that going to be priced with way? Because some ships are just going to change in price altogether. Like
As far as new pilots, though,
like I feel like Duchess is probably going to go up at least 2 points just because of how widespread and the fact that okay, you're also putting Fifth Brother on her, you're also putting a device of some sort on her, so people are okay. We have this much room, and Duchess is along with Darth Vader just going to be like
I think
okay,
Vader also goes up.
yeah,
100%.
'Cause-
and I think this is a pretty good segue to go into the topic of point adjustments in general, officially.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we were wanting to talk
Kind of
about
skirting it.
Yeah, we're already on Empire. Let's talk about what we think the point changes are going to be for Empire.
Duchess and Vader need to go up because those are like the 2 main ships we
Well,
see.
hold on.
What about Soontir?
Soontir is
Soontir-
seen even more than
He's-
Duchess.
Yeah. It's Soontir, Vader, and whatever third ship you feel like.
Usually Duchess.
Usually Duchess,
But you
sometime
see
Inky.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that seems pretty obvious that those 3 pilots will probably get point adjusted somehow. But what do you think? What do we think will go down?
I think that they might try to support swarm lists a little more.
But you can't. But what?
You can't
drop it?
drop the academies anymore.
No, you don't have to drop the academies, but you can buff things that work well
So
along with
Howlrunner?
swarms. You could drop Howlrunner a little bit. You could drop Sloan crew a little bit.
So if we're going off of the buff things that are unpopular, then do they do anything for the TIE Aggressor? Because they're already cheap right now, but you don't see them because they don't have great actions
They don't.
and they don't have really great slots.
They have decent abilities, but I mean that's another
Double
thing.
Edge, but he's an I2.
This is
Not-
like I
You
said,
have to like
it's-
swarm
He
tactics
has
him.
broad rockets, right?
No, Double Edge is
He can put on.
If he misses, he can take a bonus shot.
he gets a bonus attack.
Oh,
Yes, you can put barrage rockets on
Yeah,
them.
they have 2 rockets.
Yeah, so his ability is after you perform a turret or a missile attack that misses, you may perform a bonus attack using a different weapon. So kind of like Biston or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So
Slightly
I don't
different.
think that the PS matters as much because he can put barrage rockets on. So he doesn't need to have a high PS to be able.
But the thing
to
is, he can
lock
get
on.
initiative killed really easily. They have
Yeah,
2
'cause he's
evasion dice
PS2.
and 1 and 4.
Like so the ace, the quote unquote
1 and
ace
4?
for TIE aggressors, 33 points.
1 shield, 4
4
hull.
PS4, and his ability is when you perform an attack with Lieutenant Kestel. After the defender rolls defense dice, you may spend 1 focus to cancel all defenders' blank or focus results, which is really great.
You get rid
Actually,
of their
really-
potential
I
target
actually really
lock
like
focus.
Kestel, and I hope he goes down. So we
It's
can start seeing him on the board.
very defensively oriented, which I think is But he
But-
cancels on when he's defending, right?
When he's attacked,
when he forms an attack.
So
Yes.
you get rid
That's
of
pretty
no
offensive.
evade tokens, no gas cloud,
broken cords your face off.
no Concordia face off. They are
Ooh.
stuck with what they roll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, you also have to look at it though. It's like, okay, you have a turret upgrade slot because they're one of the few Empire ships with turrets. There's
So-
only 2 turret options, and they both aren't really good.
I think that as far as the aggressor is concerned, they're going to wait. Because I really think the only thing that can save it is a turret that they
A good turret.
want to
Like,
run.
good turret. Or just drop it by like 2 or 3 points across the board, and you'll see aggressors everywhere.
Or we
Be-
introduce TOT.
because it would just be the best generic and, completely ignoring its identity as a turret ship.
Yeah,
It'd just be like replacing the TIE fighter.
But it'd be a tie though. Ties are kind of like that. Like tie bombers, I feel like tie bombers are in a very good point or a very good spot point wise. Like they're pretty cheap. They're very versatile, but they're not great. Like
Yeah, I think once we see like Vader, like the aces nerfed a little bit, we'll see more stuff like the bombers and whatnot coming out.
Bombers, punchers.
Redline still good.
Redline's good, but
Yeah.
it's so expensive if you want to kit him out, and if you don't kit him out, it's like frustrating.
But I mean, that's the trade off for like some aces because a lot of people think aces, and you're like, oh, I'm nimbly, bimbly, dodgy. Can't shoot
Here's
me.
an I5 big bulky boy.
Yeah.
He's definitely not an ace.
52
He can
points.
boost. he can arc dodge.
52 points before you put
You
anything
boost in
on him.
red
But,
barrel roll.
Yeah, he can arc dodge. Give that boy afterburners.
but I feel like the TIE Advanced X1s, like Darth Vader ship and everything, like I think those across the board are going to go up because they're all very good.
Well, hold on, we don't see anyone except Vader, really.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but because you also have like Duchess and Soontir and
I feel like they're just gonna nerf Vader, and they're gonna leave the rest of the advanced
Yeah, alone.
as the.
They're gonna try to
Vader.
entice people to fly those by making Vader just so expensive that it's Vader in one other ship or Vader in a swarm.
I think they'll make some crews cheaper by a point or so just because there's not a lot of crew carrier options, and the ones that they do have are pretty expensive. You look at the Lambdas, like you have to invest a lot of points to make a Lambda really viable. And I mean, it works for like a Sloan Swarm, but if you're trying something other than that, then you're pretty.
You're investing into that Lambda.
Yeah.
It's true. It's not the best thing by itself.
No. And it's like, I don't want to be punished even more if I'm having to shell out like almost 20 points in upgrades just to make it viable in addition to whatever else is on my list,
Yeah, yeah.
And if you look at a lot of like the Empire crews, like they're kind of pricey compared to some other
You look at Palpatine, Vader, 14 plus points,
Mm-hmm.
and Grand Inquisitor. I still don't understand why he's so much.
Yeah.
Grand Inquisitor. He gives a force point.
He gives one force, and let me double check, make sure I'm not.
After an enemy ship at range 0 to 2 reveals its style, you may spend one force to perform one white action on your action bar, treating it as red.
Huh.
That's what, 9 points?
14.
Oh, 14.
I mean, I guess it gives the ability to do 2 actions in one turn, which isn't bad. You got like
But
a similar thing like Han Gunners.
But I mean, Palpatine's 11, and let's any of your ships mod their dice as if they have a force.
Or
Sure, he's 2 crew, but that's 11 points.
Or you look at like Separatist Count Dooku crew. I mean, that honestly is better than Grand Inquisitor and a lot cheaper.
Hold on. I think it's a little different. Because it lets you do things like double mod your dice. For example, if you have like it works depending upon like if they move first, right? Like
No, because you can do it after. It's whenever they reveal their dice. So if you already moved and you've done let's say you focused,
yeah.
because you're not sure, you're not
All right.
not sure of me. They reveal their dial, then you get your action.
So, yeah.
Force.
So if they move first, you can just dial in a blue maneuver, and you just did 2 actions for free.
Yep, you could. Yep.
Yeah,
It's not the worst thing.
not the
I
worst
know.
thing.
I think that they could reduce it by 1 or 2 points, but like
But
maybe
you don't
people are sleeping on it a little bit. Only
because
it's a crew, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's because
So,
Vader's the same cost that
Yeah,
takes away their action, their green token, or is a damage.
yeah. I do think.
See, that makes
Vader's
sense at
Vader.
14.
Yeah, Vader is better, and there's not a lot of high PS crew carrier options.
You got what? Rack at 5. I mean, you got Vermeil at 4, but that's it.
Well, rack at 5, you're making like a 100 plus point rack.
I know, right? And with how popular aces are right now, it's almost never going to happen.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. It's like if you can just get some of those, because I'm looking at the list right now, and it's like Seventh Sister 9 points, Sloane's 9 points, Moff Gergerod 8 points, Minister Tua 7. I mean, that's most of the, in my opinion, the better crews, and that's a lot of points. Like,
Yeah,
you look at, like, say compared to the Rebels, you look at Leia, and Leia's what, 6 points?
4 right now.
And
6?
Yeah, it's 6.
At one point, she was what, 2?
2 points. That was a mistake. Okay,
That was a knee jerk. Oh, she's too expensive. That was a knee jerk.
But even like concerning, like, and I guess we can use this as a segue to Rebels, is like you look at kind of like the differences there. It's like I feel like the Empire just being so punished in their crew points compared to like some of the other factions, like Rebels especially, because you can get soft for 9 points in Rebels, and like 9 points to turn an eyeball into
all eyeballs.
All eyeballs into crits.
Yeah, it's glorious.
It's like, all right, I'll lose a shield and 3 crits.
Yeah, slap down on the ghost. Boom.
Let me fan this.
I do think we don't see that as much, probably because just the way tournaments work. Giving half points on a huge ship.
Yeah,
that's.
But
that's
like it's the crew costs.
Mm.
But then you also got to look at like some of the gunners for Rebels.
Well, let's
bad.
not look at Luke. Let's ignore Luke.
And Ezra's also pretty bad.
So I guess we can kind of use that as a jumping off point for Rebels. Is like, all right, so when it comes to Rebels, what do you guys think is going to go up? What do you guys think is going to go down?
U-wings.
Wedge is going up.
Wedge is going up.
Yeah,
Wedge is like Wedge, and I think maybe Luke, because Luke's seeing a lot of play too. Luke,
Maybe
2 points. 2 points for Luke.
Yeah, I could see a small nerf for Luke, a little bit bigger nerf for Wedge.
Yeah.
Now, I like what Derek was saying, though, with U-Wings, because U-Wings are so darn cost-efficient at what they do, and they do so much. Like, you got 40, 50 points in the list, just throw a U-Wing, and you're going to
4 U-Wing lists?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
They do fine.
My main concern is that if there's nothing in the Rebels' arsenal that they can decrease, that if they increase those ships, we'll be able to fill that void very well.
I think that they could definitely decrease the cost of the
I think
the
E-wings.
A-wings.
I think E-wings still need to go down, and A-wings need to go down.
Yeah, I could see both of those.
I think they also I think nerfing Luke and Wedge is also gonna open up some of those other X-wing pilots that you don't see.
True.
To be flown more.
But the thing is, people might just go to different factions if those pilots like if they nerf Luke and Wedge, it's like, oh, I might as well just
fly Blackout.
Yeah, it's just fly Blackout. Or
and there's
fly
not a lot of
factions.
really good abilities hidden within the T-65s and those middle tiers.
Hold on, Thane.
Or
he's the one that you can reveal a crit, right?
Well, Thane's a PS5, and he might end up seeing him. But I'm talking about like the 4s and 3s and 2s.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them, right? There's like a
ton
whole
of them.
slew of X-wing pilots. You just never
Jack is okay, and Biggs is okay, but they both.
What does Jack do again?
Jack is when he performs when he gains a stress token, he can removes the stress token and takes a damage on a hit or crit on your dice. Or sorry, only on a hit.
Yeah, Porkins.
And it's like, so you got, was it Edrio 2 tubes, PS2.
Edrio is.
But before you activate,
so
if you're focused, you may perform an action. Granted, getting that focus there can always be kind of tricky.
He's forced to fly with Benthic.
Benthic, 2 tubes.
Which, but still, it's a free action.
PS2 for almost 50 points, though.
So, like, you can, especially if you have your SWLs closed, you can boost and then, like, open it before you move, because that's before you activate.
To be fair, I feel like...
And you already have a focus.
Is really good when paired with Benthic. And there's so many X-Wing pilots, I think it's okay to have one X-Wing pilot that's kind of dedicated to be paired up with another pilot.
I mean, that's fine. I'm not...
And they're really good together.
My main concern is he's just a PS2, so he can...
Yeah.
Or
look at...
He's a PS2 X-Wing, and X-Wings die really fast.
It's a good chassis.
I mean, it's just the same problem I had with the Aggressor, with the double edge.
Well, then you also have Levin Tenza, Initiative 3, but after you perform a barrel roll or a boost action, you can perform a red evade action.
And they don't normally get evade.
Yeah, that's really good for a T65, and it's only 46 points. So if they made Wedge from like 55 to say 57, maybe just round it to 58, just make it an even number. I could definitely see like some of these like higher 40 pilots, like even Garvin, just being more of an option.
I do think that what they're gonna do is when they nerf those, like Wedge and Luke, they're gonna bring down the price on a lot of the other X-Wing pilots by like a single point.
I can see that, yeah.
Just
to so it'd be like, hey, look at all these new toys
that you guys didn't even know you had.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, who's this? Is this a new pilot?
Red Squadron veteran for 42 points. Sign me up. Baby.
I don't know about the generics.
But like Garvin going from 47 to 46 or 45, even going from 46 to 45. I mean, that extra point, does make a difference.
They start to add up.
Yeah, especially after 2 or 3 ships.
I would very much like to see Corrin finally go down to a usable point number. He is currently at 66 points and more expensive than Luke Skywalker for a PS5 E-Wing that double taps. Like if you're in Bullseye, can double tap every other turn.
Which, at first I was like, okay, that's cool. He still gets to shoot twice, but then you look at the Bullseye and granted, an E-Wing is probably one of the few Rebel ships that can like kind of guarantee a Bullseye more often than not. But I mean, that's still like really rough. Like, okay, and then you get the disarm token for the next turn, which makes sense, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, is that really worth the points? Like 66 points for like.
I mean, the ability can be really good, but it's Rebels don't currently have a means to artificially remove disarm tokens to people like the way the Resistance do with Admiral Holdo. So he's guaranteed not attacking the next turn no matter what maneuver or whatever you do. Yeah. And there's not really a reason for him to be more expensive than Luke friggin' Skywalker.
I mean,
if he was PS6, I could see it.
I could see him going down by like maybe 2-ish points, but I don't think he's that bad.
He's almost okay.
Almost okay. You're not bad, but you're almost okay.
I'd like to see the named K-Wing pads go down as well.
K-Wings just need a lot of love.
And the other one, Asej. They're both pretty cheap.
Let's just call him ET because I can't pronounce either her first name or last name. Yeah. ET.
I mean, Miranda is like 43 points before you put anything on her, and you've got to put like 15 to 20 points of upgrades before you
laughs in red line.
I mean, you could just throw her like naked. Her pilot ability lets her sacrifice shields for extra damage.
Yeah, but if she was good, we'd be seeing her.
I know. I just think there's better options.
There are better options. Rebel is a really efficient faction, and like, there's no reason to run something like Miranda.
It's a mostly efficient faction.
Well, but I mean, with K-Wings, I think there's a bigger problem in terms with K-Wings in general than
I don't think
specifically the pilots.
I don't think it's the points. I don't think the points are a problem with the K-Wings.
Like if the K-Wings had like an EPT slot, because none of the K-Wing pilots do.
I think that's one of the biggest issues for them. That and their.
What did you put on it?
Oh, I don't know.
Trick shot from Miranda, just fly around the
trick shot,
freaking edge.
I mean, trick shot would be fun.
They nerfed trick shot.
Intimidate, just because like I've seen like Brian, with his love of Fen, like there was a time where he was just running a bunch of Ks and just bumping into everyone, and it was great fun. If they had intimidation on there, I would have been so much screwed more than I was.
I don't see them giving the bottom generic and an EPT.
Oh, it doesn't have to be the bottom generic, but like even like the two name
generic.
Yeah, but like even the two name pilots don't have EPT slots, so
right.
It's like you have a quote unquote named ace or whatever, and you don't give him an EPT. Well, and like they're like kind of what we were saying like earlier, like they're not really an ace,
Yeah,
I could see them giving Miranda an EPT, like I guess. Just to see what kind of fun things people can come up with.
There's no reason why Redline and Miranda shouldn't have EPTs. The reason they don't have EPTs is just because they didn't in first edition.
Mm-hmm.
But what, they're going to spend 8 points for saturation salvo? Is that what they're afraid of?
No. I feel like a lot of the ships in the game were just kind of like almost as a second thought put over to second edition. I feel like the K-Wing is one of those ships. Like they kind of just like converted it and they were like, all right, it's good.
Yeah,
I feel the same way with like the Mist Hunter for the Scum. Like they just kind of like put it over and like, There you go.
Yeah, one other ship for the Rebels, and probably our last ship, or unless you guys have some more, is the TIE Fighter for the Rebels. Like, I'm looking at it right now, and it's like, okay, what Rebel TIE Fighter pilot do you use most?
Sabine.
All right, and okay, you're looking at Sabine. Initiative 3. All right, no, she gets that free barrel roll boost, 30 points, fair. But then you look at Captain Rex, a lower initiative, arguably a better ability, 32 points. Who also doesn't have an EPT, just has
For
a
a TIE
modification.
fighter.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, 32 points for a TIE fighter with ability, no EPT or anything.
And no more
Yeah,
time
but
either.
his ability is really interesting, though, right?
Yeah,
Suppressive
so
What
fire.
does suppressive fire do
Yeah.
again?
so while you perform an attack against a ship
Mm-hmm.
other than Captain Rex,
And this is in the context of the attacking ship.
so
It's a-
yeah,
it's an effect that
if
is
you have
given to that
suppressive
ship.
fire on you, this is what happens
so
to
if
you.
Captain
Yeah.
Rex shoots you, you get the condition of suppressive fire on
Mm-hmm.
you. And then if you shoot someone that's not Captain Rex, you roll one fewer red die.
That's big.
That's big.
That's impactful.
However, if Captain Rex gets shot at, you get to remove it. So if he
Yeah.
gets shot at before you shoot, cool. If Captain Rex didn't shoot at all, then you get to get rid of the card. And then if Captain Rex is destroyed, you also remove it. So basically, it's kind of like the turn after is really the only effect. So if he shoots someone else, it goes to someone else. It doesn't stay on you or
Yeah.
anything. So I mean, it's good, but it's also
Is it 32 points good?
no.
No, because it's really easy to get rid of. I think is a big issue with it. Like you can just like shoot at Rex because he's what I2.
Yeah, he's initiative too. So he's
So
gonna be one
you
of the
just
last
somebody else
initiative.
shoots him and it's gone.
And if he's close enough to be, unless like you somehow snuck a TIE fighter behind everything on your opponent's list, and you know you're shooting willy nilly by yourself, like there's no way if he's going to shoot someone, like he's not getting shot at first.
Yeah, I could see them buffing like all of the TIE fighter pilots.
Yeah, like if because I mean, granted, like Sabine for like 20 something points, I mean that's not bad, but like Captain Rex for 32, that's too pricey. I mean, I'd rather just have a Z95 at that point.
Yeah, Rebel is just not a filler faction right now.
Yeah, but now, like you mentioned, Scum earlier. I could see a lot of point changes with Scum because
It's really
holy
funny.
cow!
So many ships.
It's really funny because during the last points adjustment, they reduced the price of like almost everything in the faction, and it's still not seen.
Yep.
No representation at all.
Outside of Fen.
Outside of Fen.
Well,
And that's up here.
that was
really.
that was a bit of a hyperbole,
Yeah, Boba-
but I
Boba-
mean,
Boba
Boba,
Fett.
Fenn, Guri, they're all really solid right now. In fact, I think they'll probably get nerfed.
Oh yeah, like Fen will. I mean, he kind of got nerfed a little bit with the ability queue a little bit, but I think he'll probably go up a couple of points.
Yeah, 1 or 2 points.
I don't know.
Same with Boba. I think Guri will probably go up 1 point, maybe. I don't see her going up as many points as Fenn. or
She's not
Boba.
seen as much as those two together.
I think the mining guild ties will probably all drop a point or two.
I think they. I'm hoping the IGs also drop by a few.
Oh
Yeah, I'd love to see IGs on the
I
board.
know.
Even if they were dropped by like 1 point across the board,
It'd
it would
still be
open up
enough
some
to
options
open
for
up
me.
some options, yeah.
I'd love
That's
to
the
see
main
some-
thing is that the IGs just need a few points, and they find out IG lists to become significantly more viable.
Iggs. I miss seeing Iggs.
Iggy's.
I do really like the ship. I think it's got a really nice stats and really nice style. It's just
Yeah, I really like it. They're probably a little afraid of first edition. Again, you know, it was
Robots
pretty
being
dominant.
a-
Yeah, robots was huge.
Yeah,
A lot of
that was huge. Pretty much the entire 1.0 too.
Mhm.
As long as the aggressors are out.
It's really funny because if you like, if you were talking to me like as someone who had only played second edition, it's like, yeah, these 2 ships together are amazing, and I'd be like, 2 ships? Really? Those are winning?
Bubba Fenn, anybody?
They're not even like, they don't even have linked actions. Like,
You're like, why are you flying that?
I do definitely think we'll see another slew of just most scum ships going down again.
yeah.
I
Well-
think some of the bigger ones I think will probably want to drop are like the Houndstooth.
Yeah, drop that live feed. Drop it down. Especially that they're releasing an expansion soon, along with a new Z95 that synergizes
that's gonna
specifically
keep-
with the
it's gonna be-
Houndstooth.
Infinitely delayed, baby.
I know, right?
Anyways.
But I do suspect that because there's a perfect storm happening between the release of that with the points adjustment and it being, really unpopular, that it's going to go down considerably.
Also, I think quad jumpers need to be dropped again.
I think we have to see what plans they have for the tractor mechanic.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be changing them.
Because last last points update, they spiked up the generics cost considerably, and then 2 months later they're like, tractors are different now.
Tractors nerfed.
Yep, and we're gonna see. In relation to tractor, pen kick go down, please. Make Ketsu go down.
It's funny enough, the Shadowcaster received the most buffs last points update, especially to its title,
and you still don't see it.
I know, right? You still don't see it.
Well, it's because I think specifically Ketsu relies so much on the tractor mechanic, and that was kind of like an unfair nerf for her. So hopefully they kind of either adjust her points, or if whatever changes they have to the tractor mechanics, like helps her, or it brings her back to kind of about what she was.
I do think that they'll probably bring her down a little bit. I think that with Asajj specifically, the one force user that Scum has access to, which is on the Shadowcaster, the hate nerf from 3 to 9 points hurt her so much.
Yep, because that makes her go from 77 points to run to 83 points just to have hate on her.
Mm-hmm. And you pretty much have to stable hate to her because she's got a lot of health. She's a force pilot, someone who can use it. Or at least the rules don't say that she can't use it. There's no hard rules on whether or not she can. But
she's kind of
assumed.
Well, and the fact that she has 2 force, because usually if a pilot has only 1 force, it's not really worth using hate. But
she has 2.
But yeah, I think she'll go down.
Yeah,
I do think she'll go down quite considerably.
Yeah, because she's maybe 74 points.
Even 4 points. I can see her going down to 70.
Yeah, I can see that.
It'd be fun.
I think if you drop her to 70, if she drops, then definitely Cassie has to drop because she should not be the same as Cassie.
And the generic. I think that.
And Sabine. While we're at it. It's great.
Yeah, everything. It's really easy to say that with Scum because we just don't see a lot of ships.
Yeah, I think L3 for the Falcon will probably go up because she's 47 right now, but a very effective ability of if you have no shields, your banks are decreased. So
no one uses the Falcon.
Yeah, that's the only thing. You don't see the Falcon for Scum.
Then again, you don't see Scum. It might be a good ability, but the Falcon itself isn't being seen.
That's true.
Yeah,
I mean they might change some slots, I guess, but that kind of brings up a point that you were making earlier, and that we've kind of discussed for a few weeks now, is how Scum is just they have a lot of nifty ships, but they're all so specialized. It's hard to really synergize them together.
And it feels like when it comes to trying to synergize, that FFG is kind of stuck in this rut where they only want certain ships to work together, and they want minimal interaction between the amount of scum ships that can happen.
Now,
what?
The Hawks.
Like the Outer Rim Pioneer with the Mining Guild ties, but they don't really want those synergizing anywhere else, It's kind of like Mining Guild ties, what else do they really go well with?
I'd say the Mining Guild tie is probably one of the best filler ships right now. You can put just Approach or something on there, or Seawar, the one that gets additional attack die if it's shooting. Ahab.
When he shoots bigger boys.
Yeah.
I think individually, the named pilot, they're great as one-offs. I'm talking about as a group.
Yeah, I could see Scum Swarm getting a little bit of love. The little Z95s.
To go back to
the M3 interceptors.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if we can rig Drea back down.
Drea doesn't have to go back to her original price.
Go down 3 or 4. She went up by 7.
Because the ability to make literally everyone on your
but you just kill her. She's not exactly a nimble.
Yeah, I suppose.
But your point to the Mist Hunter where they just kind of threw it over. What does the Mist Hunter really go with? What are you going to fly the Mist Hunter with to make it good?
Why would you fly a Mist Hunter?
The Houndstooth, of course.
What? I mean, it's just some of the ships, they just feel like they don't really fit anywhere.
Yeah,
and I guess, Scum's they're misfits, right?
Well, I mean, you look, they are, but you look at the Mist Hunter,
it's called faction identity, Grant.
And the Scum doesn't have it sometimes.
Yeah, you look at the G1 Starfighter, the Mist Hunter, and it's okay, you have 3 pilots, 2 of them are Initiative 3, one's Initiative 1. Mm-hmm. You're looking at between 41 and 49 points. 49 points for Initiative 3 with an ability. And even, you have to put so much into it. I think there's a lot of problems with scums, you have to put so much in upgrades to make them viable.
Actually, I think Forearm is
I also
really good just on its own.
no I
think
okay.
Poland's
Now that
pretty
I
good,
step
too.
back and look at Scum, I think another big problem for them is the illicit slot.
Oh yeah.
You have contraband.
I do like what they did with contraband.
What do you
I think
have?
contraband.
What do you have after that?
I think contraband is a pretty good space.
So I think inertial dampeners should go down a point because the point cost right now is like it starts at
It's variable though, right?
it's
But-
variable based on initiative, but initiative 0 it's 2 points.
We also have to see the coaxium hyperfuel. How many points is that going to be?
That's the thing
The
that lets you
slam.
slam, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to open up a lot of
I think
possibilities.
that's going to
for
open. Yep.
almost all the scum, but I feel like they're probably going to be like, oh, we're adding slam. I don't think any other scum ship has a slam action right now.
No.
Nope.
So-
Slam's pretty rare in the
Yeah,
game.
but you got the Alpha class and the K wing.
And then you have
And then-
T70s with the black one
So you got
title.
you got
Yeah.
title, black one title. That's it.
Yeah.
The Fireball soon.
The Fireball soon, but like right now,
Yeah.
you only got 2.5 ships really.
2.5.
Because black
ships.
one X-wing can do it per list.
Once.
Yeah, because
Once.
it's a limited title. But I mean, they might overcost that upgrade, and that's kind of a thing I
Yeah.
hate that might happen.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I
worried
kinda-
that it's going to be a
I think it's
fear,
gonna be
a
like
fear hike.
5 point or something.
Oh, that's lower than I was figuring. I was figuring like 8 or 9, maybe 10.
Really?
Yeah.
But when
I
you
don't-
gives you slam, it only does damage if you. What was it? There's a condition for when you take damage.
Is that how they ruled it? Because they worded it really weird on
They
the card.
did word it strange.
So it
But-
sounded like you always took damage for slamming.
But I mean, imagine like a Shadowcaster slamming across the board. Like that could break a lot of things.
Hey,
Just
do you want people to have night terrors?
no, but I mean, with,
How far do you go across the board if you
Five forward, five
forward
forward.
into a 5 forward?
That's 5, 6, 7, so 12.
If you're not shooting anybody.
oh hey, I'm in range of one of you.
It's
I'm
about
going to
to send
track
a
you.
message.
No,
now.
yeah, you tractor you get there with Ketsu,
Oh, nice.
and you hit tractor immediately.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking.
Or they're
at
probably bumping you because like, what's going on?
That's how you
quite-
break a formation.
yeah, quite literally, like you could break entire strategies just from the word go like that. So I feel like,
I might have to experiment.
Hold on, how do you turn around?
Huh? You want hard?
Is it 1 hard?
yeah, I know, right? Shadowcasters is too good, but I mean that's just
No, they have one soft, but
Oh.
you can 2 hard. I think there's enough room.
maybe.
Maybe. You might go off the
Maybe.
board.
Science.
I'll risk it for the biscuit. I'll let you know what happens.
All right, so yeah, so sounds like we're all in
Scum.
agreement that Scum's going to go down for the
Or
most part.
if you're gonna do the slam, you 5 forward and do a 5K, and they bump in your butt,
That would be pretty good.
and then you have everybody else coming in.
That'd be silly.
So I guess we might as well move on to the next faction. It's
Let's take your pick. Will
I think we might as well talk about resistance.
resistance. All right.
They're going to go up, I think,
I think
I think
in points?
Do you think
in general. Like
with
RZ2s,
Lulo not being seen, does he go down?
I think Lula will go down. I think his initial increase was overreactionary.
Knee jerk. Like you said earlier.
Lulo is effectively a 3 dice 4 health ship.
He's a 4 health X-wing when he's stressed. That's what he is.
I think it's potential that he might go down 1 point or just stay where he is.
If he stays where he is, he's going to continue to basically not be used.
I think it's going to depend on
Good.
what they end up pricing the new pilots for their RZ2s, but I think like
That new
Tally,
PS5, I think,
Rear,
will be
Zari, like they've all been being used in lieu of Lulo a little bit, and I think
That's good. I think it's healthy having variety.
yeah, but I think we've also seen how effective RZ2s are. Like,
Yeah,
they're
the
just-
chassis
You
itself
could
is
probably
really good.
put Lulo back down a little bit and
Yeah.
still see it because they're going to value them.
You can probably bring her down to like 42, 41 points, but bump everyone else. Like, okay, Greer's 36, Tally's 36, probably bump them up to 37 or 38. Like,
Man,
that.
I would say don't touch any of them and just move down Lulo.
Well,
yeah, like
you
Blue
would.
Squadron.
And that new
Recruit.
PS5, I think, will actually end up completely replacing Taliesin on pretty much every list once it comes out.
What does it do?
It has a 1 energy reoccurring. After you defend or perform an attack, you may spend the energy to do a focus or evade action.
So
That's really good.
free focus or evade. That's nice.
It's
So you can,
PS5.
If you've already focused, you just get to evade.
so it's not an action. So it's just like you can focus, attack, and then get a focus action.
Wait,
or,
what?
Yeah.
You just gained the token.
You
It's
just
not an
gained the
action,
token.
so you can be double focused if you didn't spend it
Yeah,
too. If
sure.
you're taking multiple shots.
So that's
And,
really
and
good.
Tasson's mostly has flown on Resistance as is just because she's a PS5, not because of anything having to do with her
Well,
ability.
I think the ability is value because that being able to give your ships an extra evasion dice is really good, especially when you're on the defend row.
I just want to point out that RZ2s have 10 blue maneuvers.
Is that just a fun fact you just learned?
I'm gonna go lay down real quick while I think about my Alpha Gladius.
All of their 2s are blue. The 3 straight and banks, and the 4 and 5 straights are blues. But I mean, that's a lot of blue.
I think Finn won't get a price adjustment, but I think Finn will lose his EPT.
Oh, the pilot.
in the
Yeah.
pod.
The little
Yeah.
pod,
Yeah.
maybe.
But other than that, I can't really think of that much that needs to change for Resistance other than maybe bringing Lilo down. Because I think the main issue with Resistance right now is the same issue I think the FO has. They don't have
A lot of ships.
a lot.
You got more availability than FO.
The A-wing's fine, I think. It's the ship that gets flown pretty much the most. It's seen on almost every single list because
the
of how
only
good
other
the
one-
A-wings are. I think that we'll probably see a price reduction in the Star Fortress and the.
I do think a 1 or 2 point reduction on Lulu is due. 1 to 2.
Maybe.
Because they want it because people have seen the value of the variety of A-wing pilots now.
I just think it's also likely that they'll just keep it where it is.
I think Nian is going to go up a point from 55 to 56 just to bring him up to Elo. Because they're both the same initiative. They both have
Really good abilities.
really good abilities, but Nian's is arguably better.
What's Nian's ability?
Nian's ability is after you gain a stress token, if there's an enemy ship in your forward arc at range 0 to 1, you may remove that stress token. So you can.
And what's Elo do?
Elo is as long as you have 2 or less stress tokens, you can perform a Talon roll as though it were white, basically.
So you can just Talon roll.
But Nian does the same thing, but also applies to K turns, or you can slam Talon roll, slam Talon roll. If you really, or Talon rolls, then slam into another Talon roll, and just
Maybe.
there's almost no limit to what you can do.
I do agree with you, Will. I do think the Star Fortresses should all go down.
Yeah, they're pretty
I
pricey.
could see everyone except maybe Vinny.
Hopefully,
Vinny
it's just
seems to be.
really good.
I've flown against a Vinny. He's like,
Well,
it could
Vinny
stay.
even Vinny is we've only seen him locally. We've seen him locally more than we've ever seen him on any of these tournament sheets either. He's
I've seen him
A couple
once.
of times.
How often does he make cut?
Yeah.
probably
Almost
never.
never.
Well,
Yeah,
you
you could
just
probably
have
get
to
down
make
low.
cut to begin with for ask that question.
Right.
Because it's hard to justify flying even with a 270 arc and it's got in 12 health at 60 points. You're not going to fly that for even empty.
Yeah.
There's so many better things you can fly for 60 points with upgrades. It's better than a Star
Like,
Fortress 60 points empty.
Like even the cheapest Star Fortress is 56, which doesn't seem like too much for a large base with a lot of slots and
But the thing is, you got
to
to fill those slots.
yeah, you got to fill the slots. So like the cheapest named one, Cat, 57 point, initiative 1, and when you perform a primary attack, if the defender's at range 0 to 1 of one friendly device, you roll 1 additional die. I mean that sounds good until you realize you have to
Put trajectory simulator and then a proton bomb and then delayed fuses.
launch a bomb
VTG,
Yeah.
HTCO.
or put the Star Fortress in a really bad spot and drop it behind you.
Yep.
It just seems too much. I mean, it's a large base, so I get why it has to be kind of a little bit pricier. But there's cheaper large bases out there that are arguably more effective.
Like the Oops
Yeah.
Rapson, Tavison.
That's
Yeah.
56.
Speaking of First Order, I do think Tavson will probably go up a bit.
Yeah, he is the Upsilon pilot. His action economy is
It's nasty.
it's unfair. It's unfair. I'm a first order flyer
Because it's
and I am
every
willing to
damage you
admit-
take, even in the same attack,
Yep.
right? That's how it
no,
was
no.
It's just after you suffer
It's whenever
Oh, okay.
after you suffer damage.
So
okay.
And since all the damage is dealt at once
Oh,
when you
okay.
suffer an attack.
I've seen it ruled differently.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
in
He's
variants.
64 points by himself.
oh,
Yeah, he's a little spinny.
But he's an I3 with a 4 dice attack and 6 and 6 on his health.
And likely going to double mod his dice when he does attack
Yep.
you.
Exactly. He's just kind of sits there.
And
with
if you're
his focus.
if you're at range 1 of him, well, you're taking 5 dice.
Probably 5 results,
5 dice
mods.
with probably a target lock and a focus, and he probably reinforces the front, or he gets to coordinate somebody to do something when he's shot.
Well, look at it this way: he's being attacked. He's getting all these free actions. So it's like, boom, you reinforce your first action for target locked, and then you get attacked. Well, I'm going to get a focus and use that focus when I attack you now to advance optics like a hit. Like,
Yep.
Okay, I just automatically hit you, pretty much.
And it's crazy. So I do think he's going to go up.
I think Strident's going to go down.
Is he going to go down?
He's same amount of points.
He's the I4 that
See the one that.
while you coordinate or resolve the effect of one of your upgrades, you can treat friendly ships range 2 to 3 as being range 0 to 1. So you can coordinate at range.
At range 3.
Yeah, at range 3.
Or jam at range 3.
Nope, it's friendly only.
Okay.
You could jam a friendly ship.
Another one I think might go down is Captain Cardinal.
Yeah.
You didn't even know that was a pilot, did you?
I would actually really like Captain Cardinal to go down
So
personally.
yeah, he's an I4. He's 65.
Is he the one that was?
He has
nerfed
2
to all heck.
No, you're thinking that was Dormitz.
Oh yeah.
No, Captain Cardinal. I think he came into like his own little like individual card pack in the thing. He's I4. He has 2 energy, non-reoccurring. After filling a ship at range 1 to 2 with lower initiative than you, defends or performs an attack. If you have at least 1 energy, that ship may reroll 1 eyeball. After an enemy ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, lose an energy. So his ability isn't fantastic because it lets you reroll eyeballs.
Yeah, but it's still a reroll.
It's still a reroll, but
I mean that kind
but 65 points.
I mean that kind of
Yeah.
works though, because if you're looking at like,
And they have to be a lower initiative than him.
no. I mean he's I4.
Tyus, I
So
really
not
want-
even backdraft. Actually,
I really wanted to go down because I want to fly him with TISF Swarm.
yeah. So you run that. Yeah, you run that time. But so not even backdraft, not scorch.
Speaking of backdraft, I think backdraft's going to go up 2 points.
I don't know. He's not being flown. He's not being flown because quick draw is just so good. Quick draw will go up if anything.
True.
I do think quick draw could go up a point. I think Kylo will go up a little bit, and I think that the regular TIE fighters will probably go down maybe a point.
Even midnight.
Ooh.
Well, I didn't say all the named pilots. I just said,
She's 43.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe.
A lot of the named pilots actually have really good effective abilities.
they do.
It's just their
Muse.
prices.
Muse, Static, Scorch. Like, I mean,
They do see some use.
They all do see some use, but I feel like you have to build around them a little bit too much to really.
Was
So
that
do you how much do you think quick draw goes up?
quick draw?
Yeah, she's 45 by herself, but you practically have to spend the 10 for special forces. So let's say 55.
I could say you're going 40 to 47.
42 points.
Yeah, 2 points. Just because of how mainstream and because of that, like unless like you kind of devote yourself to like a more like TIE swarm, you're just going to see. I mean, we see a lot of SFs like.
What's not like TIE run
FL
swarms?
can't really run the swarm that well because you look at them compared to the Empire's ties, and the price is pretty stark. It's a lot more expensive to try to run an FO swarm.
But because the ships
And there's no
have-
inherent synergy.
Yeah, well, they're iffy because you have TN, kind of. It helps by taking, and with Phasma coming out, forcing things to take damage for her,
I do
And-
love TN.
and with Rush coming out,
I think Phasma is going to be really fun with like.
Reverse bigs.
Well, he's Phasma is essentially
You there,
just,
take a crit.
she's a fanatical enabler,
Yeah, exactly.
but
Or Tabson,
A lot
or
of-
quick draw.
a lot of discussion I've seen is the at that point does the enemy bother shooting her
Oh well,
because they don't want her to just be passing on the damage or whatever and triggering things. So, do you load up Phasma to be expensive?
You'd
Because-
probably
because-
just be reckless with her.
because-
Put her range 1.
Because
Make it so
if
that
you
she's
make her
getting-
worth points, they either have to sacrifice going for points on Phasma because they don't want her passing off damage to trigger Fanatical or Tavsin, or do you ignore her or do you shoot her because she's worth points
Shoot her.
and she does
So-
it anyways.
Well, so I'm reading the ability and it says
Must. It's a must. You can't.
Well, suffer 1 hit or crit damage to cancel 1 match result. So can she use that ability for every, like, say you roll 3 hits, can she do that 3 times, or
no,
is it
while
just
you
once per
fend,
attack?
you can suffer 1. It's only once. It doesn't say any number. It says 1. It specifically is 1.
So solution, you just hit her with like a ghost at range 0, and
So you run Chopper Zeb.
yeah, with
But
intimidation.
she's passing and she's getting taps in an action, or it's triggering Fanatical for something like Scorch or Static.
Yeah, well, I guess.
Right? It's pretty gross.
I do think that this ability works a lot better in this faction than Scum.
I will say though, I think Fanatical is going to go up to 3 points. Kind of like how a lot of like the other like faction only upgrades or EPTs are like Fearless is 3 points.
I don't know, William. How do you feel
No.
about Heroic again?
Well,
I think that
I think
faction-specific EPTs are good to be pushed a little bit. In fact, I think Fearless could go down a point.
I'd like to see Dedicated go down from the
I'd like
Republic.
to see Dedicated
What is that?
even be on a board.
I actually don't know what that is.
So Dedicated is a Republic upgrade, so we're kind of gonna go into the Republic here. Then
Yeah, let's move.
go ahead, because first order, I think we're pretty much we know that who needs to go.
Dedicated, are you talking Selfless?
No, I'm talking Dedicated.
Dedicated.
See, look at this, man. You don't know what it is. Dedicated. Where are we?
I'd like to go see Dedicated go to free.
I gotta find it real quick. Hang on.
It's an EPT, right?
What's it do?
It allows
Please
you
don't leave
to,
me in suspense,
it
guys.
allows you to take a strain token to allow a friendship. I think it range 0 to 2 of your side arcs to reroll 1 defense dice.
Oh, Republic. I was thinking Rebels.
No, we're like so. And, how many points is that?
I think it's 1 right now.
Okay, never mind. I can't go down anymore.
Go down and
Make it free and see if anyone
See if it's even worth cleaning up.
Actually, maybe it could be free.
It's just like strain, like
Because you're taking a strain. That's the cost to let someone re-roll. I could see it.
and it's an EPT, yeah.
Yeah, so you can't just slap it on a whole bunch of generics. It takes up the slot, so you can't put crack shot on there or something. Like, I'm seeing like Chopper's already. Zero,
Oh yeah,
right?
the ship also getting the reroll also has to be limited or have dedicated.
Oh,
Yeah, so that so it has some.
So you see, yeah, and it's what 1 point,
Yeah,
but no one's gonna run it because there's better EPTs out there. So I just feel like Dedicated's just like
even at
put
even
it
at,
to 0. I'm saying it right now.
even at free, let's see if people use it.
Yeah,
Because-
I'd be down.
I mean, yeah, that lets you load up ships though, because that's
I mean, it's only 1 point.
But you're not spending on other EPTs. Is what it is. You're not spending the 2 to 3
That's
on
the
others.
cost. The
That's what it
opportunity
is.
cost of not
Instead of
being able
spending 2 to
run.
3 per EPT on a ship, you're spending nothing.
Correct. I think I'd like to see them test it at 0. I know they typically like to avoid free upgrades, but dedicated is not seen whatsoever at 1 point. So if it can't be seen at 1 point, then if it's not being seen at 0 points, and that's how you know it's just
Dead in the water.
dead on arrival.
Boom. The I-3 Torrent, Blue Squadron Protector, has EPTs.
How many points is it?
It is 28 points.
Well, I mean, that's just
For a torrent.
So
And all their EPTs are dedicated.
moving on to the Republic, I feel like the Torrents could probably use a little bit of a price drop.
No, I disagree with that.
Really?
I think instead of a price drop, you give them a second missile slot so they can run barrage rockets.
That would be great. That
Would
be
instead.
glorious.
You don't have to touch your points.
They'd
Give
be
them
worth
potential
it
barrage
at
rockets.
What about the named pilots? Dropping them.
Which ones?
I don't think
Anything other than Tucker.
I don't think they should be able to run barrage rockets.
Said the scum player.
That I don't know how
Said the
that has
Severance
anything
player.
to do with anything.
You don't play Republic at all.
It's just what is it? The cheapest one is 25 points.
The cheapest one is 25 points.
Yeah.
Barrage rockets about 8 points.
Yeah.
So
You
33.
You really want to see 6 of those 6 barrage rockets on the table? 5 health.
Yeah, I want to watch them die in one go from Fenrau. Each, one by one.
They
Look
only,
how
mean,
flying
isn't-
Fenrau.
they only
I mean,
got 5 health.
TIE bombers are only 1 point, 1 point more, I think, than
Yeah, and they can run it.
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, TIE
If
bombers
six
have...
if 6 barrage rockets just that busted, you'd be seeing TIE bombers doing it already.
Yeah, cheapest TIE bomber is
They have-
29 points. And
29.
Oh.
So,
4
but
points.
still, it's another hull.
So you're looking at, you can get...
But does that
37 points.
give you an extra torrent for 4 times?
No.
whatever?
Nope, it's 1 point off. from a naked torrent. 4 times 6 is 24. You're 1 point off from a naked torrent.
Boom shakalaka.
Oh, I'm not talking about that.
What are you talking about?
A torrent with barrage rockets does 4. Was it 4 times 6?
It's 24.
It's 24. Oh, I don't want to do this right now.
Then don't do it. Don't do it. It's
We'll just move on.
it would it.
I might be
just like you
wrong, but I feel like barrage rockets on torrents would be too strong.
Continuing on with the Republic, I feel like the arcs are going to all go up a point.
Up?
I think they're going to go down a point.
I'm inclined to agree. I'm inclined to agree that generic arcs and sinker will go up. Everything else will go down.
Yeah, Sinker's
I
really
think
good.
Oddball
Sinker
might
is good.
go down like 4 points. Because
Anakin's
Which
gonna go
oddball?
up. Obi-Wan's gonna
yes. what is
Yes.
Oddball in that where he shouldn't go down in points?
I do think that a
The
lot of
Jedi.
the Jedi Aces are gonna go up. Rick Ollie's gonna go up. Like the obvious ones are gonna go up.
Yep.
I think
Anakin,
actually,
Obi-Wan.
I think Anakin Wyvern will go down.
I guess.
We're talking Jedi in the Jedi Starfighter. Anakin, Obi-Wan, Plo Koon, all going up. Maybe Mace comes down because he's not flown.
He might stay where he is. I think.
If they go up, I can see him staying where he is
Mhm.
because then he's all of a sudden viable because they're so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Delta 7B being pricey.
You think the Delta will go up?
No, I think it's
I think
fine.
the Delta's fine.
I think it's fine because it's priced via initiative, and where it's priced for initiative is great.
Yeah.
I just think the pilots at base are too cheap.
That's fair.
Yeah, some of these kind of like lesser named pilots. I mean, Barris for 39, Luminara for 43. I mean, that's
What are these torrents?
No, these are
These are
Jedi
Jedi
Starfighters.
Jedi
Oh.
Starfighters. Yeah.
I remember some people flying Luminara.
I've actually seen Barris recently though.
Yeah, but I mean, Luminara, Initiative 4, 2 Force, decent ability. I mean, 43
It's okay.
points.
I mean, like, sure, you can you spend a force to give somebody an evade, but like, you only have 2, so like, I don't know how.
She'll
to
probably stay where she is.
Yeah, I think she's fine where she is.
Well, yeah, but I was just saying, like, kind of like how like some of like the cheaper pilots. I can see your argument of them being a little bit too cheap as a base before you start throwing
Yeah.
everything on them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, Delta 7Bs, that's 18 points, but I mean,
For at what initiative?
4?
Four?
61 points for I mean, that's not bad.
You're what,
For-
3-2, 3-3 for stat line at that point?
Yeah, with 2 Force, I mean,
That's really good.
that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also before like astromech modification or
Yeah.
Force upgrades.
I think that's really cost effective, and it's a little,
It's almost too good.
yeah, almost, but it's not like Vader good.
Yeah.
Passive sense is Vader good. Passive sense is off.
I think that'll go up. While we're talking about it, I think it'll go up to like 5. Targeting computer is 3. Passive sensors is 3. Passive sensors is significantly stronger than targeting computer.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean that makes
Because the
sense.
whole not being coordinatable thing doesn't.
It's also a more valuable slot too, right?
Yeah.
sensor. Yeah, because you don't get SCS.
I mean, sure.
But I mean, you're almost guaranteed the target lock.
Yep.
So
And it's great for getting rid of the bid. But anyways, Republic. I don't think we see any other changes outside of those.
I want
they're
battle
pretty fine.
meditation to go down.
Ooh,
I think it'd be interesting to give that card a chance to be used.
it is used on Ahsoka.
When was the last time you saw Ahsoka anywhere?
well, I mean,
Because battle meditation is, if you forget what battle meditation is, it gives you a purple coordinate. You cannot coordinate limited ships. While you perform a purple coordinate, you may coordinate one additional friendly ship of the same type. Both ships must perform the same action. It is currently at 6 points.
well, so it's actually cost based on initiative. So it's
I actually didn't know that.
yeah. So initiative 1 is 2 points. Initiative 6 is 12 points. So it kind of just goes up by 2.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad, but I mean, you look at something like Plo Koon, like if you wanted him to have battle meditation for whatever reason, that's 10 points right there, and you're just like, "Ugh, I don't know if I want to spend.
I mean, I don't
10
think I've
points."
ever seen battle meditation on the board like, the entire time it's existed. And I think I'd like to see people try to use it.
I mean, it'd be great, but it's like it's really only good in Republic because you have so many forced pilots,
Yep.
But like, think about like rebels. Like, hey, one of the rebels are ever going to use it? Like, Luke's going to use it. Okay, when's he going to use it? Like, with a swarm of Z95s or something? Like, you're never going to see it just because
it's restricted by its design.
Yeah.
Also, it's Republic only.
It's
is it?
Republic
Oh,
only.
well, there you go.
Well, there you go. There's a problem with it.
There's- I mean, it'd be nice to see like something outside of like Republic, though. I think it could open up some doors, so to speak.
Okay. Now, speaking, so that's kind of where we're at for Republic. But if you look on the opposite side, there are arch enemies, the droids. I think everyone's unanimous in agreement here that Seer Swarm will hopefully cease to be a thing with this.
Yeah,
As much as you love droids, I think you have to admit it's getting a little oppressive.
I mean, like, yeah, obviously.
Right. Okay, cool. We're in agreement.
No matter how biased you are,
But
the
how
tournament standings they're proof enough.
But how do you figure that they're going to do that? Just price Seer too expensive?
I think that they could bump Seer up by 4 or 5 points.
4 or 5, wow.
I think that they could bump up all of the PS1 vultures and hyenas by at least 1 point.
It's even 20 for the vultures.
That's big.
I know you and I butt heads on this, but I still think grappling struts either needs to go to 2, or it needs to be the ruling with the rock. It needs to be either they are part of the rock, so they do not get the defensive bonus, but they also don't apply to the enemy, or everybody gets the defensive bonus.
I just don't think grappling struts are the problem. You see lists with and without.
Well, no, I just think it's so cheap that like you throw it on there without even worrying about it, because it's so cheap.
Yeah, I mean that's
And it helps. It's such a good help, and it's not. I'm not saying it's the problem. I'm saying it's a symptom almost. I guess would be a word for it.
I mean, if they put it up by a point because they just wanted to see a meta that didn't have grappling struts at the moment, I guess they could decide to do that. But it would definitely be to change the way vultures and hyenas work, as opposed to doing something that's for the actual balance of the game.
Well, so that actually brings up another question I've seen some folks kind of talk about is with configuration cards. Across the board, configurations are like, what, 0 points?
Depends.
It depends on the config. I think the only one that currently costs points is
Grappling
just
struts.
grappling struts.
It's just
grappling
one
and landing
point.
That's good, but the grappling struts also offers the greatest benefit of any of the other current configs, I believe.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at like, like a lot
Except
of
maybe like the
Alpha class.
the alpha class,
Yeah.
but they're like.
But if they don't have that config, they're worthless.
yeah, I don't think it counts.
But we have the B-Wing config coming out, and it's like, okay,
That's
so
really good looking config.
Yeah.
okay, how are you going to price this? And then you look at, so here's one thing I've always kind of wondered. You look at the two X-Me's, you got the Rebel T65, the Resistance T70. Both their configurations are 0 points, but I feel like the T70 should be at least 1 or 2 points. Just
I disagree.
Because with the T70s, I still have you in bullseye with my SOLs closed. I still get to roll 3 dice. That's
Hold on.
crazy.
I feel like it's the T70 already pays for that kind of premium with its the points itself.
Well, but
The
you also
shit costs more.
well, yeah, but you also have what more shields,
One more
shield,
One more
you
shield,
get
and you're like
boost,
15 points
better,
more expensive.
better abilities in general.
I mean, yeah,
Outside
but
of
the
which.
config, the config is basically negligible because you almost never actually use your foils closed anyways because you have a native boost.
Also, you don't want to really punish people for using that because knowing when to open and close your configs is a skill thing.
That's
and
true.
bullseye is a skill thing, and it's part of the identity of the ship.
So do you think B-Wing config is going to be 0 points then?
No.
No, I think that one costs points.
I think it will cost something.
Okay.
It's
Because
too strong.
There's too much. There's so much going on that
Too
card.
strong.
With the basically you get a second attack, you get another linked action. There's so much for that going for the B-Wing with that card.
Yeah, it gives you a bonus
I
attack,
think B-Wings
so-
are going to spike in play.
I think that they're
With the
probably
F-foils.
going
I think they're
to...
already going to go up in price.
Yeah,
so.
they're going to nerf 10 and Braylon, I think. You
Yeah,
know, the
because-
two named pilots that are already synergized super amazing with stress.
Yeah, they're pretty strong.
They're going to definitely nerf those.
And they're going to nerf them, and then if the config actually costs something, then you might not... I mean, I don't even know if you're going to see them that much anyways, because I think they might go up by like 2 to 3 points apiece.
It'd still be usable at a 2-point nerf.
Maybe.
So
But
all in all, like, who do you guys like of all the factions, all the pilots, all the cards? what card is going to get nerfed the hardest? Like, which one's going to get hit with like a nerf bat the hardest?
Vader.
Vader.
Maybe.
I mean,
no,
I-
Seer.
Seer?
I think it's Seer.
Yeah, well, hang on. Is it Seer himself that's going to get nerfed?
Yes.
Seer?
Yep. Just Seer. That's going to be the
I
hardest
still think
one.
Vader.
I think Vader also. That or Wedge, just because Wedge.
No, I don't think Wedge.
Wedge
I think
is
Wedge.
like-
I really think Wedge, if they do nerf him, will only be 1 or 2 points because the second you start to like price out all the higher X-wings, the X-wings aren't going to be fine.
Yep, it's a slippery
anymore.
slope.
The X-wings already kind of struggle from only 1 or 2 good pilots.
Which
Even if you drop the points of the PS4s and lowers, you're not going to fly them because none of their abilities are good enough to warrant actually using them.
That makes sense.
You're never going to see someone put Kilby on the board almost unless they make her just so stupid cheap that there's no reason not to. Like
Yeah,
those lower skilled pilots don't exist on X-wing.
that's true.
I mean, I just think that they're going to reduce them by a point or two, and then people will be fine.
I don't think anyone's ever going to fly them unless they're just overwhelmingly efficient.
So
Okay, I'm gonna take what you said there, Eric, and I'm gonna kind of jump off there. You're saying no one will. I just think the meta won't, but I still think you're gonna see people fly them
Well,
and
yeah,
try them
everyone will
and
fly
find ways-
anything.
and find ways to make them work. And I do think they will be flown because people would want to find ways to make this new stuff work to see if they can find anything good.
Maybe,
And I don't think they're gonna continue to stay like in the shadows and not be flown. I do not think there's gonna be left there.
maybe
by
they'll
players.
maybe they'll be flown, but they're not ever going to be like meta. Then you're not going to see someone make top table with that one X-wing Leva that can link a barrel into an evade or red evade. Yeah, red evade because it's linking.
Okay,
Like-
the second I find that, I'm showing it to you and rubbing it in your face.
That's the
Guess
intrinsic
what?
of our entire.
I am going to fly a list featuring that.
You go to the Seattle Open flying Leva.
Hey, look, I got top 16.
So next question, I guess, would be like, what card really, I guess, is going to be buffed the most? Like, which card is going to get the most love? So much love that you'll be jealous on Valentine's Day.
Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
This is a lot harder of a question.
Yeah, that's a lot hard because it's like you look at like what's not getting, what needs help, and like there's a lot out there that needs help, but it's also we have to think how, like it's the thing we were talking about earlier. How are they going to nerf it? Are they going to nerf it because it's too, or are they going to buff it because it's too bad, or are they going to buff it because it's not popular?
I think they're gonna buff the YV.
The YV66 is the biggest buff, and
I think so.
do you think it's because it's not used or because it's bad?
Both.
I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
It's not used. It's bad. They're releasing an expansion soon, along with a new Headhunter pilot. I think that they're going to possibly make the title free, and they're going to reduce the cost of probably every pilot by like 3-4 points.
I'm going to speak with my heart of
Or
hearts,
something
and
around
I think
Dash, here it comes.
Dash Rendar.
Amen to that.
It's about time Dash finally falls below 90 points.
Hallelujah!
98 points just for a
Praise
pilot?
Dash. Half points. Make him 50 points.
Screw you.
Oh, okay, wait, slow down,
I think
please.
there's no justification for him being more expensive than Han Solo, who's in a better ship.
With a better ability.
I think
And I
Dash
think
is-
there's no reason the title should be 14 points.
I agree.
Yeah, the title could honestly be halved.
Because it's, 14 points for the title, which isn't that
The
bad
only-
of a
the only-
title, but it's not that great.
The only realistic part of the title that you'll use at any point in the game is the denying defense dice, and even that is only something that will only happen maybe once or twice a game, even if you fly for it.
Mm-hmm.
And trick shot also continues to go up in price, which is kind of,
Just
Yeah.
compounds the problem. Because if you have the title, you might as well have trick shot just to
I just think
compound
there's no reason why why Dash should be more than like 90 points, other than just first edition fear.
I feel like that goes into what ship needs love the most. That's probably the YT-2400s because it's just so freaking expensive.
Why is the PS1 as expensive as Han Solo?
86 points. 86 points for a PS1 generic. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
It is for attack dice.
Yeah, but you look at the Ghost, that's also for attack die, and like the most expensive pilot hair is what, like 70 something?
70, yeah,
Not-
78, something.
Yeah, it's like okay.
And turrets are way less oppressive than they were in first edition.
And you
Yeah.
also have to think about the YT's 2400's ability of like, oh, you're at range 1, well, I lose my range 1 bonus and I roll 1 less die. So instead of rolling 5 red dice, I'm rolling 3 red dice.
Which
At
is
range one.
which is great that actually
73.
can still attack, but it's still like it's not 4 dice all the time. And if you're higher initiative or AC, you'll get within that range 1 most of the time. Anyways, the ship is a large base ship. It doesn't move very far fast.
Yeah, I definitely think it's possible that the YT 2400 is going to receive the biggest buff.
To be fair, though, I mean,
I don't.
I
Think
would
so.
like
with
I
all of
do
our
not think
gripes,
so.
with
I
all-
think
Until they release it officially,
they're
it's
going
work.
to ignore it because they want to focus on the other ships that they're bringing into hyperspace, and I have to agree with you on the YV. It's going to be the YV because it's
actually more playable.
it's more playable and
It's being released soon.
it's being released very
That's
soon.
true.
You can't sell a ship that's not.
And there's
That's
no,
bad.
there's
Quote, unquote,
approximately zero first edition fear surrounding the Houndstooth.
That's true. It was
There-
garbage then.
It was
It's
garbage, then,
now,
and it's even
and
worse.
I'm
now.
still flying.
No,
it.
no, it was garbage then. It's even worse now.
To be fair, it does look like it probably smells like a flying garbage can.
Well, to be fair,
Hey.
it
I take offense to that.
it should have been an epic ship. I still stand by on that.
Yeah.
Well, that ship has far sailed.
Oh, I get it. Ship. Ha.
But it's
But just release a houndstooth for epic, then you have a houndstooth and epic flying with a houndstooth for
Well,
regular.
now if they-
Don't
Can I
talk to me
dock
or
my
my son.
houndstooth on my houndstooth?
Don't talk to me or my son ever again.
now if they ever have like the Slave 2 as canon again and put that out, like I think that'd probably be an epic ship.
What, like the
This-
Archangel?
Slave 2.
Slave 2. Because if I remember right, Slave 2 was huge.
I think yeah. I'd have to look again.
There's a whole bunch of slaves.
But I think before we get Slave 2, before that, give me Razor Crest
from
Yeah.
the Mandalorian.
for Mandalorian.
It's bound to happen. It has to happen.
It's like the most super popular. It's the
Probably
most
working
in-demand
on it.
streamed show.
Also, while kind of mindlessly browsing the Alaska Reddit, apparently someone saw a moose using the crosswalk down on the roads off Muldoon. So yes, folks, we do get mooses in,
And they follow our traffic laws.
They
Yeah, he waited for the
literally
crossing
use it like in between the crosswalk lines.
Yeah.
No joke. Like,
It knows. It knows.
sign. I bet if we put time in, we could teach one X-wing.
And then we did waiting turns before we know it.
yeah, I
Mostly
would,
because people will be scared.
How would I dare roll red dice against the moose?
I lost the Bullwinkle. Let the moose win.
All right, I think that'll about wrap it up for us today.
I think so. Yeah.
All right,
Quite a
thank
bit
you
to talk
for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's been fun.
Yeah,
It's great.
thanks, Jeremy.
Um,
Hope to have you in the future as well.
You the best.
Hopefully, next time we'll be able to talk about the points and
Yeah.
how
Yeah,
we were
absolutely.
either amazingly accurate and right as we always are, or
How
mostly
we were super
mistake-
wrong, and it turns out they dropped Vader by 15 points.
Oh,
Yeah, they're gonna they're gonna just
Yeah,
destroy
you
the
want to
game.
see every tournament be just Vader?
Only Vader, just Vader.
Vader can now be used in all factions.
I mean, well, to be fair, he kind of is with like what 3 Republic Anakin ships.
So he only thing he wouldn't be would be like CIS.
Yeah. Like give me a Darth Vader TIE Interceptor. That's all I'm asking.
He never flew it. We don't know that.
He flew a
We do.
Defender, right?
No. 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 No.
Let's end it right there.
All right. Thanks
That's
for
scary.
joining us.
Everyone
We
have a
will
good
see you in
night.
the next month.